deadly mobile game. This video is purely for entertainment and does not infringe on copyrights or laws. The rights to the novel and image belong to the original author. We do not claim ownership. Don't like waiting and want to listen to this fanfic in full now? Subscribe to our Patreon, where you'll find the best fanfics. Chapter 251, Victory at Moss Mountain Base. Jin Ke was delighted, but he didn't have time to study the newly awakened skills now. He should wait until the game is over. The 16 cannon fodders at the King Moss Mountain Base were attacking desperately, and the health of the crystal column was decreasing bit by bit. The crystal column still has 1,550 health points, and it can last for 31 seconds. The four of us will be resurrected in 12 seconds. As long as we move quickly, we should be able to clear all the cannon fodder within 5 seconds. By then, the crystal column will still have about 700 health points, which is enough to keep the crystal column from being blown up. After a very detailed calculation, the shooter of the Mang base reported the results to several companions. "Great, I hope nothing will happen." The mage of the Mang base breathed a sigh of relief. "Nothing will happen. In another 11 seconds, we will have another batch of 18 cannon fodders appearing, which will help us by a few more seconds." The soldiers of the Mang base also spoke. "Well, this time we will definitely not give the cannon fodder a chance. Clean up all the cannon fodder first after we go out." The captain of the Mang base clenched his fists. "With the 4 elites at full health, how can you, a cannon fodder, still jump around? It's a pity that I can't kill that cannon fodder myself. You must chop him into pieces." Yun Fiang was furious. He had to wait for more than 10 seconds to revive. By then, the 4 elites would have definitely cleared the cannon fodder near the base. "You are too reckless. If you didn't kill those cannon fodder first, but killed the mage and the shooter first, and then killed those cannon fodder, we wouldn't be so passive." The captain said a few words to Yun Fiang. "Yes, too impulsive. We wouldn't have fallen into such a dangerous situation." The soldier also said a few words to Yun Fiang. "Humphrey, isn't it because you are angry?" Yun Fiang knew that all this was his responsibility, but he was angry. He was really too angry. After resurrecting just now, if he didn't kill the cannon fodder first, his thoughts couldn't be clear. We still lost, just a dozen seconds away. Fan Wenji was very discouraged. "Alas, without Luo Ye, we can fight to this level, which is already very good." Ran Maqian persuaded Fan Wenji a few words. "It's all my fault. I should have given the position to Jin Ke and let him represent the King Mo's mountain base. Maybe we would have won." Yuan Qiang looked very regretful. "It's not your fault, it's their fault. I proposed it to them, but unfortunately no one listened to me. Now this result, I can only say that they asked for it." Yao Chengzu shook his head. Although he always took the victory or defeat of the game lightly, he was somewhat unwilling to lose the game today. Fan Wenji, Ran Maqian, and Li Jing said nothing. They had no way to refute Yao Chengzu's words. 11 seconds later, the 18 cannon fodders of the Mang base rushed out of the base. In another second, the tanks, soldiers, mages, and shooters of the Mang base will be resurrected from the base together. At this time, the health of the crystal column was exactly 1,000 points. It seems that the magical cannon fodder and his companions have no chance to use their own power to blow up the crystal column and end this torturous game. This game dominated by cannon fodder will eventually return to the track dominated by the elite group. Cannon fodder is cannon fodder. Although there is the splendor of 5 consecutive peerless, it can't escape the fate of being strangled by the main force of the elite group. Kill. The 18 cannon fodders of Mang base rushed towards the 16 cannon fodders of King Mo's mountain base together. Behind them were the 4 elites of Mang base who had just resurrected. The tank, the warrior, the mage and the shooter. The 4 elites also showed their weapons, refreshed, proud, and aggressively rushed towards the 16 cannon fodders of King Mo's mountain base. With their ability, let alone 5 seconds, 3 seconds is enough to clean up all the cannon fodders of King Mo's mountain base at the scene. The shame of 5 consecutive peerless can finally be washed away. Most of the thousands of spectators at King Mo's mountain base turned their heads at this time, not wanting to see the tragic scene of the magical cannon fodder being strangled. Just like a patriot who gave all his loyalty and strength to the country, but still could not avoid being captured by the enemy and going to the execution ground. The story of the tragic hero is memorable, but it is too heartbreaking. After expressing their great respect for the magical cannon fodder, thousands of spectators at the Mang base stood up and cheered that the Mang base had survived the disaster and would definitely win the game. "Hold on, we can win," Fan Wenji encouraged the other 4 elites waiting to be resurrected. "Winning is useless. The sooner you surrender, the sooner you will be reborn." Yao Chengzu pressed the surrender button. Alas, Yuan Qiang sighed. At this time, the familiar bang, 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 dot. Firecrackers sounded again. In an instant, all 18 cannon fodders at the Mang base fell to the ground. The 4 elites of the Mang base had just been resurrected and their health points were exploded by more than 1,000 points. "Fuck, it's over," the captain of the Mang base seemed to think of something in an instant. However, everything was too late. The crystal pillars at the Mang base, with less than 1,000 health points, were completely drained by the sound of firecrackers. The exploding crystal pillars instantly illuminated the entire arena, dazzling everyone's eyes. After the afterglow faded, a huge fireworks banner of Moss Mountain base victory appeared above the arena and lingered for a long time. In the end, the outcome of this game was still dominated by cannon fodder. After a moment of dead silence, thousands of spectators at Moss Mountain stood up and cheered for a long time. While they were cheering, most of them didn't understand why they won. Thousands of spectators at Mang were stunned and cursed, with all kinds of anger and unwillingness on their faces. While they were cursing, most of them didn't understand why they lost. Didn't it still have 1,000 horsepower? How did it explode? The King Moss Mountain base is cheating. Yes, it must be cheating. How could a cannon fodder perform 5 consecutive ultimate skills twice? How could it explode 1,000 HP of the crystal column at once? We had already won, but we were forced to lose to this cannon fodder. Check the basic attributes of this cannon fodder. It should be S level, right? Otherwise, it would be impossible to perform 5 consecutive ultimate skills twice. Don't even think about it. What's the point of cheating? The tour is not judged by ordinary people. The main brain is very strict. Cannon fodder with unqualified attributes will not be allowed into the arena. We have to appeal anyway. This loss is too unfair. Thousands of spectators in Mang made various comments. Although they expressed their respect for the magical cannon fodder, it was only an instinctive pity for the other party's tragic hero under the premise that they believed they would win. But they actually lost. They are the ones who should be pitied. I didn't count the cannon fodder's strange firecracker skill just now. The captain of the Mang base understood instantly and his face turned pale. Chapter 252 Commendation Meeting. 5 consecutives were killed by this firecracker skill. The crystal was also blown up by this firecracker skill. The tanks of Mang base were indignant. No matter what, we still have to appeal to the organizing committee of the event to check whether this cannon fodder meets the competition conditions. The shooter of Mang base looked unwilling. It's useless, don't talk about this. Losing is losing. No matter how much you appeal, the result can't be changed. We should think about how to fight for the 9th place. After being eliminated in the top 16, the mage of Mang base shook his head, very frustrated. I want to find out the name of this cannon fodder, and then park with him in person. Yun Fiang's face was full of murderous intent. This game destroyed his Tao heart and his thoughts could no longer flow. They couldn't accept this result at all. Their strength was obviously much higher than that of the opponent, and they dominated the whole game. So why did they lose? From the beginning of the game, their jungle assassin had already entered their rhythm after killing the opponent's jungle assassin several times. As the game progressed, their advantage became greater and greater. The assassin had already half of the purple suit, while the opponent had not even a piece of purple suit, and the number of kills reached an astonishing 31-5. No matter how you look at it, this is a game with a huge difference in strength. The Mang base has always firmly controlled the situation on the field and did not give the opponent any chance to turn over. The game was still on the normal track until the Mang base reduced the health of the crystal of the King Moss Mountain base to 1%, but at that time, a cannon fodder turned out. First, a firecracker pentakill made them all die and return to the base. and then strangely returned to the white spot where the cannon fodder was, leading the 5 elites of the King Moss Mountain base to kill the Mang base. Originally, the Mang base still had the opportunity to use its good development and successfully complete a counter-kill with the cooperation of the turret of its own base, but what they didn't expect was that the cannon fodder showed his power again. Another 5 consecutive peerless kills completely shattered their fantasy. Originally, after they were resurrected, they still had enough time to kill all the cannon fodders and use the advantages they had accumulated before to win the game, but when they just resurrected and walked out of the base, the firecracker skill was powerful again. This time, it directly blew up their crystal pillars. Losing to the 5 elites of King Moss Mountain base was still a little better, but losing to a cannon fodder of King Moss Mountain base was really too aggrieved. After the news spread, where would the 5 elites put their faces? The game was over. King Moss Mountain base was full of joy and celebration, with lights and decorations everywhere, just like a festival. But in this joy, there were also some embarrassments. For example, when Yao Chengzu recommended Jin Ke to the top management of the base, he was rejected. Facts proved that they were slapped in the face. In this game, King Moss Mountain base was suppressed by the opponent from the beginning, completely following the opponent's rhythm, and had no power to fight back at all. Jin Ke, who turned the tide, not only did not get the opportunity to start, but also did not even qualify as a cannon fodder. If it weren't for the cannon fodder Chen Yang's temporary matter, Jin Ke had to temporarily fill in the gap and enter the competition venue. The Qingtai Mountain base would definitely lose this game. After the game, Jin Ke was called to the meeting of the middle and high level of the base. By the way, this is a commendation meeting. At the beginning of the meeting, of course, the leaders gave speeches and various summaries. As long as there are Chinese people, this form must be completed, which is no different from the meetings in the real world. Today, you can win this game. Jin Ke, you have made the first contribution. The base has decided to reward you heavily. After Fan Wenji finished the formality, he looked at Jin Ke with a smile on his face. This round is against Mang base, and it is 16-8. Because there is no home and away game, this kind of game is a decisive game. Qingtai Mountain base can enter the top 8, which can ensure the distribution of basic materials in the next quarter. If it enters the top 4 in another round, it can get the same generous additional material rewards from the shelter as in the previous quarter. There is no doubt that Fan Wenji attaches great importance to the tour, which can be seen from his repeated tolerance of Luo Ye. Although Luo Ye is no longer in the King Mo's Mountain base, Jin Ke is there. Fan Wenji will certainly encourage Jin Ke's enthusiasm by rewarding him, so that he can do his best to win for the base in the next round of 8-4, just like in this game. Okay, Jin Ke showed his strength in public. The purpose of this limelight was of course to get the base's big reward and to improve his status in the base. You changed your job to assassin? Fan Wenji continued to ask Jin Ke with a kind face. Yes, poisoning and healing are skills that only mages have. Fan Wenji looked at Jin Ke with some doubts, and the other participants also looked at Jin Ke. Last time, I was used as a scapegoat by you and locked in the darkness in the wild. I almost died outside. I don't know what happened to me. Anyway, after I came back, I awakened a few more skills. Jin Ke spread his hands. All the middle and senior leaders in the audience looked a little embarrassed when they heard this, and then whispered to each other. Ahaha, Manager Luo really went too far. Didn't he deserve it? Well, you have awakened a lot of skills. An assassin who can use poison and heal has a future. Fan Wenji laughed awkwardly. Although it was Luo Ye who publicly proposed to lock Jin Ke in the wild as a scapegoat, they, the senior executives, unanimously agreed. It felt a bit slapped in the face to be brought up by Jin Ke in public. I'm lucky. Jin Ke certainly wouldn't take the initiative to mention his dual profession. Dual souls and multiple souls are rare, and soul-dividing agents are not so easy to obtain. Fan Wenji may not have heard of such things, so it's not surprising that he mistakenly thought Jin Ke was an assassin who could use poison and heal. The darkness in the wild is extremely mysterious to all those who have not experienced it. After staying in the darkness in the wild for a whole night, no matter how strange things happen, it's not surprising. Don't believe it? You can also go to the darkness in the wild and try it for a night. You have made great contributions in this tour. What reward do you want? Fan Wenji got to the point. Whatever you want, I will give you. Jin Ke asked Fan Wenji in return. Haha, within my ability, I can't give you the moon in the sky, right? Fan Wenji smiled. Jin Ke has made great contributions to the Qingtai Mountain base this time, so of course he should be rewarded. The purpose of rewarding him is to hope that Jin Ke can continue to serve the base. For example, in the next round of the top 8, Fan Wenji has decided to use Jin Ke to replace Yuan Kayang. Chapter 253 Compensation. After the base won this game, it has increased a lot of assessment points. If it can win another game and make it to the top 4, it can get a lot of urgently needed supplies from the Green Plains shelter, and the base will not have to worry too much about its survival and development in the next quarter. If it is lucky and can make it to the top 2, it will be a big profit. Fan Wenji will wake up with a smile every night in the next quarter. To achieve this goal, Fan Wenji must take the overall situation into consideration and try his best to meet Jin Ke's requirements. Then it's up to you, Director Fan. I don't have any special requirements. It's best if it can enhance our strength. The main thing is, if I am sent to participate in the subsequent tours, I also want to make more contributions to the base. Jin Ke thought for a while and answered Fan Wenji. Well, that's it, let me think about it. Fan Wenji opened a tablet-like thing in his hand and rummaged around in it, as if he was checking the base's inventory. Here is an E-level orange dagger called Pure Heart, with attack power 2, strength plus 11, and crit damage plus 11%. It also comes with a skill called Pure Heart. After using Pure Heart, you can purify all control skills on your body and become immune to all control skills within 1 second. The cooldown time is 90 seconds. Fan Wenji put Pure Heart on the tablet screen and showed its properties to Jin Ke. Although this kind of equipment reward can't help the tour, it can win people's hearts. E-level orange equipment is only effective when you are a rookie student, and they don't need it anymore. Okay. Jin Ke was very satisfied with this reward. Attack power 2 instantly raised his output to a higher level, and strength plus 11 meant that his basic attack doubled again on the original basis. Crit damage plus 11% is also very suitable for Jin Ke now. If it increases the crit rate, it will be useless to him. In addition, this skill of Pure Heart can save lives at critical moments. Jin Ke's strongest output now is to release Death Assault plus Death Elixir plus Arbitration of Good and Evil at the same time after Soul Gathering, then rush behind the enemy, hit the energy node with Death Cut, and then look for the next enemy to continue output. The biggest weakness of this tactic is that it can be interrupted by the opponent's control skills. With the Soul Stasis skill on the Soul Stasis staff lent to Jin Ke by Yao Chengzhou, plus the Purify Heart skill on this Purify Heart dagger, he can be immune to or mute the opponent's skills, providing a strong guarantee for his strongest output. And the Shadow of Death skill awakened in this game can also allow him to quietly disappear from the battlefield after killing everyone. In addition, there is also a set of E-level assassin purple suits, called Sprinter, which adds a total of 1036 points of armor energy. Wearing the whole set of equipment will increase 14 points of speed, 7 points of agility, and 7 points of endurance. It also comes with a passive skill of Sprint. After leaving the combat state, the walking speed increases by 28%. Are you interested? Fan Wenji continued to swipe the tablet screen. Interested? Jin Ke didn't quite understand what Fan Wenji meant. Did he want him to choose between the dagger Pure Heart and the purple suit Sprinter? Both of them are very good. After the equipment is complete, plus the set of mentor jewelry, even a C-level warrior, if the weapons and equipment are not very strong, it will be difficult to kill him with one blow. Okay, I will give you Pure Heart and Sprinter as your reward for this meritorious service. What do you think? Fan Wenji asked Jin Ke. Okay. Jin Ke certainly would not object to this result. However, there is one thing I want to make clear to you. All the weapons and equipment above the blue level awarded to you by the base are only the right to use, not the ownership. This is not for you, but for everyone, including us executives. If you leave the base in the future, or have other serious violations of the base management regulations, the base can take back these weapons and equipment at any time, and these will be clearly marked in the reward contract. Fan Wenji made a few statements to Jin Ke, serious violations of the base management regulations, including being pushed out as a scapegoat by several senior leaders of the base during the power struggle. Jin pretended not to understand and asked Fan Wenji, that matter? Fan Wenji was speechless and his face turned red in an instant. That matter was mainly the intention of Luo Ye, the dog beast, and Director Fan was also helpless at the time. Zhang Daxiu defended Fan Wenji a few words. Helpless. I understand. Jin Ke nodded. We did not handle that incident well. We had to compromise with Director Luo for the sake of the overall situation. However, no matter what, we were all wrong in that incident, and it was very unfair to you. In today's tour, you were able to put aside past grudges and make contributions to the base at a critical moment. This spirit really makes us ashamed. All the senior leaders of our base owe you an apology. First of all, I apologize to you on my own behalf, and then on behalf of all the senior leaders of the base who made this decision that day, I apologize to you. Later, we will issue a notice in the base about what happened that day to clarify it for you. Fan Wenji's attitude was very sincere. Director Fan can say that, so it would be bad for me to care about this matter. Jin grinned. The game world is indeed respected for strength. If it weren't for the strength he showed in today's tour, Fan Wenji would definitely not apologize to him. At such a young age, Jin can have such a magnanimous demeanor and such strong strength. It is really a blessing for our base. Fan Wenji praised Jin Ke a few words. I'm not interested in apologies or clarifications when I'm being punished as a scapegoat. Just give me some extra compensation in addition to the reward I just received. Jin Ke asked Fan Wenji. Well, okay, what compensation do you want? Fan Wenji was very happy that Jin Ke asked for compensation. The most taboo thing about this kind of thing is that the person concerned holds the hatred in his heart and refuses to propose a solution. If the compensation can satisfy Jin Ke and completely untie his knot, then he can really feel a sense of belonging to the base, right? Moreover, the base is in need of people now. How to compensate? Let's decide on it. Director Fan. Otherwise, even if I want the moon in the sky, Director Fan can't get it, right? Jin Ke smiled. It's not good to take the initiative to speak at this time. We have to see how sincere Fan Wenji is. The faces of some middle and senior leaders of the base began to become ugly. Just now, Jin Ke got an orange weapon and a set of purple armor, which made them jealous. They didn't expect Jin to be so greedy and even want more compensation. Chapter 254. Sit back and enjoy the fruits. You know, E-level orange and purple equipment are very good equipment with their current strength. At worst, their children are working in the base. Even if they can't use them, they are still very popular good things for their children. Fan Wenji is really. Wouldn't it be enough to give one of such a generous reward? He actually gave both. And now that Jin Ke asked for compensation, he immediately agreed. This Director Fan, he is too unprincipled in doing things. Okay, let me think about it. Fan Wenji started to fiddle with the tablet in front of him again. After more than 10 minutes, Fan Wenji stopped. Here are 5 bottles of tonic, a potion that can permanently increase physical fitness. It's a grade potion, and each bottle permanently increases physical fitness by 2 points and endurance by 1 point. I think you should know that this kind of potion that permanently increases basic attributes is very precious, and each bottle is worth a lot of money. The total value of the 5 bottles reaches millions of contribution points, which is equivalent to hundreds of thousands of energy points outside. In total, it can help you permanently increase your physical fitness and endurance by 10 points. You have changed your job to an assassin, and your current physical fitness and endurance should be less than 10 points. Increasing physical fitness can directly increase your health value, and increasing endurance can increase your body defense and armor defense at the same time, which is equivalent to increasing your health limit by at least 200 points. After wearing the speedster, the armor value is also increased to about 1,500. In the future, whether you are playing in the wild or park, your chance of survival will increase greatly, and it can even save your life at a critical moment. What do you think of this compensation? Fan Wenji proposed to Jin Ke. When the people present heard that Fan Wenji was going to compensate Jin Ke with 5 bottles of tonic, There was an uproar. Many people were extremely shocked and then started to discuss loudly. Isn't Fan Wenji going too far? First, he rewarded him with orange weapons and purple suits of armor, and now he gave him 5 bottles of tonic that are extremely precious in the base. Fan Wenji's heavy reward and compensation to Jin Ke were all reasonable in his opinion. In the battle with Mang base, Jin Ke won the victory for the base, and the materials he won back for the base far exceeded the reward he gave. There will be 8-4, or even 4-2 games in the future. If Jin Ke can help the base go further, Fan Wenji will reward him again. Being used as a scapegoat and sentenced to death is something that no one would feel good about, and giving such compensation is reasonable. If Jin Ke can let go of his grudges about being a scapegoat, Fan Wenji thinks that the 5 bottles of tonic are worth it. Moreover, Fan Wenji gave the tonic to Jin Ke for the sake of the subsequent tour and the overall interests of the base. The 2 previous rewards, whether it is the orange dagger or the purple armor, cannot be brought into the competition and will not help the game. However, the potions that permanently improve basic attributes are different. The improved attributes will be fully reflected after entering the competition. Although Jin Ke shined in the match against the Mang base, his 10-dimensional stats are too low. In the following games, he may not be able to show his strength and be killed by the opponent. With these 5 bottles of tonic, the situation should be improved. Okay, thank you, Director Fan. After Jin Ke's 10-dimensional stats reached 130, the speed of improving attributes by hanging up was much slower, and he did not have much time to hang up and train basic attributes. These 5 bottles of tonic really came in time for him. Although Jin Ke was very unhappy about the scapegoat, since Fan Wenji showed enough sincerity, he would not care too much. After all, improving one's own strength is the kingly way. Each level of qualifying has mandatory requirements for 10-dimensional stats, and those who do not meet the required indicators cannot participate. The requirement for participating in the A-level qualifying competition is that the 10 stats reach 120, and the requirement for participating in the A-level qualifying competition is that the 10 stats reach 144. After the physical fitness and endurance increased by 15 points, Jin Ke's 10 stats reached 145, and he could participate in the A-level qualifying competition. When he accumulated a certain number of stars, he could officially become an E-level warrior. The studio does not now force Jin Ke to participate in the qualifying competition once a week. For Jin Ke, who is very tight on time, he does not want to waste time on this. When he wants to participate one day, he can rush up in one go. However, the basic attributes must be improved to a certain standard as a prerequisite for participating in the corresponding level of qualifying competition. Director Fan, I just received a lot of private messages saying that your rewards are not appropriate. I suggest that this work be stopped for the time being. It will not be too late to reward after the high-level meeting of the base discusses and decides. Zhang Daxiu, the Human Resources Director, proposed to Fan Wenji. Yes, the weapons and equipment awards are the same, and the tonic should be kept for those who have made greater contributions to the base. Several middle-level managers also echoed loudly. In their opinion, Jin Ke's acting as a cannon fodder and making a great contribution this time was largely due to luck. For a new student, any one of these rewards, such as the orange weapon, would have been enough to make Jin Ke grateful. Unexpectedly, Jin Ke did not ask for it himself, but Fan Wenji took the initiative to increase the reward and gave him a set of purple armor. Later, Jin Ke obviously felt that Fan Wenji was easy to bully and too easy to talk to, so he forcefully demanded compensation. As a result, Fan Wenji was really soft-hearted and actually compensated him with such a precious permanent potion. Is it inappropriate? Why is it inappropriate? If we lose this game, we will lose at least millions of energy points worth of materials in the next quarter. Now these materials worth millions of energy points are earned by Jin Ke alone. The reward given by Director Fan is less than 1/10 of these materials. I want to ask what is inappropriate? Yao Chengzu suddenly spoke up and refuted the views of Zhang Daxiu and several middle-level managers in public. Some people are just jealous. They are enjoying the fruits of their labor but don't know how to be grateful. Go ahead and make a scene. Very good. I will remember you. Zhang Shidao also spoke up. His apprentice performed brilliantly in this competition, As Jinke's master, he was very proud. Hearing that Fan Wenji gave Jinke a huge reward, he was also very happy for Jinke. He didn't expect these people to raise objections. Zhang Shidao wrote down the names of those who had just shouted in a small notebook. In the future, whenever these people come to the equipment department for something, he will make them a pair of small shoes. I am not against this matter. I think Director Fan should think about it again. It is good to have clear rewards and punishments, but it should be moderate. If most of the middle and senior management of the base think that something is inappropriate, a meeting should be held to discuss and make a decision. Zhang Daxiu, instigated by a group of middle-level personnel around him, raised this to Fan Wenji again. The rewards that have been given cannot be taken back. This matter ends here. Let's move on to the next topic. Fan Wenji announced, stopping the discussion about this matter in public. Chapter 255 The Right to Speak. In Fan Wenji's opinion, the scapegoat incident had chilled the hearts of Jinke and Zhang Shidao. The rewards given were taken back in public. Was this meant to force them to leave the base? Humphrey, he got lucky and really thought he won the game? Yes. The Mang base underestimated the enemy and didn't take him, a cannon fodder, seriously, which gave him the opportunity to take advantage of the situation. The next opponent will definitely study the video of this game and make targeted tactical deployments against him. He won't have the opportunity to launch a sneak attack like this again. If you have the guts, do another 5 consecutive worlds in the next game. If we lose the next game and feed a few bottles of tonic to the dogs, I wonder how Director Fan will convince the crowd. Some middle-level managers of the base gathered together and whispered. When many people attend the commendation meeting, they don't care how much contribution the winners have made to the collective and how much benefit they have brought to the collective. They only see how big the reward the winners get. Once the reward exceeds their psychological expectations, all kinds of red-eye diseases will break out crazily. Director Fan, this matter. Zhang Daxiu was not used to Fan Wenji's arbitrary approach, and still wanted to forcefully express her own views. Can you stop being used as a gun like this? Li Zheng couldn't stand it anymore and forcibly stopped Zhang Daxiu from talking. She was Zhang Daxiu's adopted daughter, and generally she wouldn't question Zhang Daxiu's approach, but in this case, Zhang Daxiu was obviously suspected of being used by several middle-level staff. How did I get used as a gun? I just expressed my views. Director Fan has always asked me to promote the democratic construction of the base. The key problem is that he suddenly became the one who had the final say. I must remind him. Zhang Daxiu glared at Li Zheng with some dissatisfaction. You can do whatever you want. Li Zheng didn't want to say anything more. She rarely participated in the affairs of the base. If it wasn't for the tour commendation meeting, she would not even bother to attend. Next, I will announce another important personnel appointment. Fan Wenji ignored Zhang Daxiu and went straight to the next topic. What personnel appointment? Zhang Daxiu frowned. She was in charge of the personnel work of the base. Now Fan Wenji did not discuss the personnel appointment with her in advance. After the unfortunate death of Director Luo and Captain Li, the security department of the base is currently short of a director. Jin Ke, I wonder if you are interested in serving as the deputy director of the security department, because your ranking has not reached D level. According to the regulations of the base, you can only serve as the deputy director of the security department. Although you are a deputy director, you will perform the duties of a director and receive the salary of a director. You will be directly responsible to me for future work. What do you think? Fan Wenji proposed to Jin Ke. Many people present were stunned again after hearing Fan Wenji's decision, and all kinds of discussions started again. Jin Ke, a newcomer who has only been in the base for 3 months, why should he be in charge of the work of the security department? Fan Wenji, you are too joking, right? Director Fan, this is not appropriate, right? Why didn't you let me know about the personnel appointment? Zhang Daxiu is the personnel director of the base. When she heard that Fan Wenji made personnel adjustments without consulting her, and directly adjusted an intern to a middle-level management position, she instinctively protested. The security department of the base is especially important. It has great power and heavy responsibilities. Previously, Fan Wenji compromised with Luo Ye and did not listen to her advice to hand over the security department to Luo Ye in exchange for interests. Luo Ye, who was the deputy director of the base, was in charge of the entire security department. This caused so many disasters and the deaths of so many new trainees. Now Fan Wenji has relapsed and started to make appointments at will. If Jin Ke's work is reported directly to Fan Wenji, he will have to have a seat at the high-level meetings of the base in the future. For such a major personnel appointment, there must be a high-level meeting to unify opinions before making a decision, right? Nothing is inappropriate. Talents are recruited regardless of their background. I think Director Jin has the ability. It depends on whether he is willing to take over. Fan Wenji waved to Zhang Daxiu and looked at Jin Ke. How much is the salary? Is there a separate dormitory? Jin Ke asked Fan Wenji. He was quite surprised by Fan Wenji's appointment. But he soon thought of something. He remembered that when he asked Chen Wei whether he could kill Luo Ye in self-defense, Chen Wei sent an email to the studio and received the reply that Fan Wenji was not allowed to be touched at any time. This shows that there is some secret connection between Fan Wenji and the studio. Jin Ke had just been promoted to director by the studio and accepted the mentor task. Fan Wenji promoted him to deputy director of the base security department. There must be some connection between them. The studio is slowly infiltrating the base. Although he doesn't know what the purpose of the studio is, it is very beneficial to Jin Ke now. Jin Ke must take advantage of this opportunity to make himself strong quickly, not only in terms of strength, but also in terms of power. Only by grasping the right to speak and having your own power can we prevent the scapegoat incident from happening again. Fan Wenji appointed Jin Ke as the deputy director of the security department and acted as the director of the security department, which made most of the middle-level leaders in the base very dissatisfied. After Luo Ye and Li Liang died, many of them coveted the position of director of the security department, and even privately used their connections to send expensive gifts to several senior executives of the base in order to get this opportunity. Unexpectedly, Fan Wenji gave this position to Jin Ke so casually, a new student who had just graduated after only 3 months in the base. The problem is that Jin Ke put on airs and asked Fan Wenji about his salary. What's the matter? If the salary is not high, you don't want to do it? Do you know that many people are lining up for this position? Originally, today's competition made them all have a good impression of this magical cannon fodder. However, such an immodest and greedy performance at the commendation meeting made them more and more disgusted with this new student. The monthly salary is 50,000 contribution points, or 7,500 energy points. Since it is a middle-level management position, of course you will be provided with a separate dormitory suite. Fan Wenji answered Jin Ke. Although the exchange rate between contribution points and energy points contained in the energy core within the base is 10:1, the salaries of middle and senior management personnel in their own bases are not calculated in this way. A separate dormitory suite? I don't ask for much. Just give me Luo Ye's dormitory number 18. After Luo Ye died, I saw that it has been empty and no one lives there. It's a waste to leave it idle. Jin Ke thought about it and proposed to Fan Wenji. Chapter 256 Sincerity. As soon as Jin Ke said these words, the meeting site exploded. Luo Ye's dormitory number 18 is not just a dormitory, but an entire dormitory area. Luo Ye knows how to enjoy himself. He decorated his dormitory number 18 like a big garden, with artificial small suns, pavilions, fountains and rockery. There are also various functional areas in the dormitory, with separate virtual park cabins, where you can train various basic attributes in the functional areas and practice various tactics in the virtual park cabin. There are even 2 stone lions at the door of the dormitory building where the master bedroom is located. The dormitory building where Luo Ye lives is also extremely luxurious. It can be said that dormitory number 18 is the most luxurious dormitory area in the entire base. Even the residences of Fan Wenji, Ran Maqiang and others are not as luxurious as dormitory number 18. After Luo Ye died, dormitory number 18 was closed, and energy restrictions were added to prevent people from entering at will. The top management of the base temporarily did not have the energy to deal with dormitory number 18 because of the tour. and wanted to wait until the tour was over. As for how the top management of the base would deal with the number 18 dormitory area after Luo Ye's death, the middle-level personnel of the base discussed these things privately. The most common suggestion was to turn Luo Ye's former residence into an entertainment room or meeting place so that everyone could enjoy and experience it, or they could set a price, a certain number of contribution points per night, so that ordinary people like them could have the opportunity to experience this luxury. Even if the right to stay in this mansion was regarded as a reward, it should only be awarded for 1 day, and those who have contributed to the base could stay there for 1 night or 2 nights. Unexpectedly, after taking the orange weapon, purple armor and tonic, Jin Ke, the new student, actually asked Fan Wenji for Luo Ye's number 18 dormitory. He wanted to take that mansion for himself. How could there be such a greedy person in the world? There was no way Fan Wenji would agree to such a thing, right? If Fan Wenji agreed again, it would really arouse public anger. Well, if you want dormitory number 18, I will arrange for someone to clean it and let you move in, but there is a prerequisite. Fan Wenji thought about it and proposed it to Jin Ke. Hearing that Fan Wenji actually agreed, the atmosphere at the scene almost exploded. Then, when they heard Fan Wenji say that there was a prerequisite, everyone present calmed down a little and wanted to hear what the condition was. What condition? Jin Ke asked Fan Wenji. It's the next 8-4 game. You must help the base win, otherwise, even if you are given dormitory number 18 to live in now, I will still ask you to move out of dormitory number 18 and find another place to live. After all, your current level cannot enjoy such high treatment. Fan Wenji laughed a few times. The 8-4 game will be next week. Fan Wenji's meaning is very clear. That is, if you help the base win the 8-4 game, this mansion will belong to you. If you lose the 8-4 game, then I'm sorry, you can live wherever you want. It seems that Fan Wenji is still a bit shrewd at times. This answer not only appeased everyone present, but also forced Jin to do his best to help King Moss Mountain base win in the quarterfinals. No matter what the result is, he will not lose. The anger of everyone present was slightly calmed down after hearing Fan Wenji's conditions. However, all kinds of envy, jealousy and hatred are constantly growing and accumulating in secret, trying to find an opportunity as an outlet for the outbreak. So, I can move in now? The reason why Jin Ke wanted Luo Ye's dormitory was very simple, not for pleasure, but for the safety of the character. Luo Ye's dormitory number 18 is protected by energy restrictions as a whole. It is said that his master bedroom is also protected by a separate energy restriction. Staying in it will no longer worry about the character being attacked when practicing at night. You are so greedy. It was clearly said that you can live there only if you win the quarterfinals. Are you pretending you didn't hear me? You want to move in now? Dream on. Why don't you just ask Fan Wenji to give you the position of base supervisor? Young man, you don't know how to be humble. Sooner or later, you will get hurt. So uneducated. Sooner or later, someone will teach him a lesson. Everyone in the conference room cursed in a low voice. Okay, at least you can live there before the quarterfinals. But Supervisor Luo set up a lot of restrictions with his personal information keys in the dormitory area when he was alive. I have to let the main brain obtain the highest authority and forcibly crack those restrictions. It will probably take at least a day. After all the restrictions are lifted, you can move in. Fan Wenji nodded. Hearing what Fan Wenji said, the scene was in an uproar again. Is Director Fan crazy? He gives you whatever you want? No, I think that kid has mastered some kind of magic and has controlled Director Fan's brain. Only senior leaders in the base are qualified to occupy a dormitory area exclusively. What is this? Breaking the rules at will? Who will be willing to abide by the rules in the future? Didn't you hear clearly? The quarterfinals are over. If he wins, he can live in dormitory area number 18. If he loses, he still has to get out. So what if he gets out? I would be content to live in number 18 residence of Luo Ye for just 1 day. That kid is getting everything for free. We don't need to be angry. Director Fan is just overwhelmed by the tour. If he loses in the quarterfinals, and it's because of this kid, you just wait and see. He will become a rat crossing the street, more miserable than anyone else. Indeed, let him be proud for a while, and then he will cry. Then I will spit in his face. Fuck you. I'll kick him into the pit. The middle-level leaders of the base were talking to each other. Originally, they were very happy that King Tai Mountain Base defeated Mang Base and Jin Ke made great contributions. However, they did not expect that Jin Ke would receive so many rewards, far exceeding the rewards he deserved for his status. He also kept asking Fan Wenji for more compensation, which made them completely unbalanced and instinctively hostile to Jin Ke. Director Fan, you must be crazy. Zhang Daxiu's communicator was filled with private messages, all scolding Jin Ke and blaming Fan Wenji. As Fan Wenji's right-hand man, Zhang Daxiu felt that it was her responsibility to persuade Fan Wenji not to make a mistake. After the meeting, she would definitely talk to Fan Wenji. How is it? Have you thought about it? Are you willing to serve as the deputy director of the base security department? Fan Wenji asked Jin Ke again. Since Director Fan is so sincere, then well, I'll be embarrassed if I don't agree. Jin Ke thought for a while and agreed. If you're listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means they downloaded and uploaded it without effort. We cordially invite you to visit our channel, Mundo Fanfic Novelist. There you'll find the original version of this story and you can explore many other novels of various genres. We are waiting for you to immerse yourself in a world of incredible novels. Chapter 257 Rectification and Reconstruction. Why not agree to this? There is a salary, a mansion to live in, and you can build your own confident forces. Most importantly, you have a certain say in the base, so you don't have to worry about being used as a scapegoat like last time. As soon as Jin Ke finished speaking, the scene exploded again. Okay, you'll feel embarrassed if you don't agree? You look so reluctant. Damn, you really think you're an important person. If you don't want to be the deputy director of the security department, there are plenty of people who want to be it. I've never seen such a shameless newcomer in my life. Today I've really opened my eyes. I'll just stay quiet and wait to see how miserable he is after he loses in the quarterfinals. In the quarterfinals, Fan Wenji bet on him. There's no doubt that he will lose. I don't want our base to win now. I'll cheer for the other side then. None of those who can make it to the top 8 are easy to mess with. He was so lucky in the last game, with 2 5-in-a-row wins. He will definitely be closely watched in the next game, with all kinds of instant kills. He's not even as good as Yuan Kaiang, with 4 against 5, losing is inevitable. By then, I'm afraid this kid will be kicked out by the top management of the base like a scabby dog. The more highly he is praised now, the more miserable he will fall then. I feel secretly happy when I think of how he'll cry in pain, look pitiful, and kneel on the ground begging. After Jin Ke's words, all the middle-level leaders of the base were completely irritated. Okay, Director Zhang, help Director Jin to complete the relevant personnel procedures so that Director Jin can start work today. Fan Wenji was very happy to see Jin Ke agreed. If Jin could let go of the scapegoat issue, he would have a strong helper. Okay. Although Zhang Daxiu was very unhappy with Fan Wenji's decision to exceed his authority, Fan Wenji obviously didn't want to listen to her advice now. If there was anything, he should communicate with him in private, otherwise today's meeting would really blow up. Director Luo's secret laboratory incident caused heavy losses to the security team of the base. How to rebuild this department. After this meeting, Director Jin, come to my office and we will discuss it carefully. Fan Wenji asked Jin to be the deputy director of the security department, and he also had his considerations. Many of the current middle-level personnel in the base are the remnants of Luo Ye. He is not very confident in them. He lets Jin Ke serve as the deputy director of the security department, but it is just a temporary position. Fan Wenji can hold many actual powers in his own hands. If Jin Ke performs well and can manage the security department under his guidance, it will be the best. If he can't manage it well, Fan Wenji will also look for other more suitable candidates during this period. The most important thing is to stabilize Jin Ke's morale first, let him feel the attention of the leadership, and do his best to play well in the subsequent tours. As for other problems, they will be solved slowly after the tours. After the meeting, Jin Ke went to Fan Wenji's office to discuss the rectification and reconstruction of the security department. At the commendation meeting just now, Jin Ke was in contact with the company's senior management for the first time. He clearly felt Fan Wenji's weaknesses and often made some unprincipled concessions for the sake of the overall situation. In this case, he didn't need to be polite to Fan Wenji. Jin Ke estimated that Fan Wenji asked him to be the deputy director of the security department, mostly because of the studio, and also because Fan Wenji wanted to control the security department in his own hands. As the highest manager of the base, Fan Wenji did have some fatal weaknesses in his character, and was often used by Luo Ye in the past. Now that Jin Ke was pushed to this position, he would naturally not miss this good opportunity. He also had to think carefully and use the existing resources to control Fan Wenji and gain more say and greater benefits for himself and the base. Many documents that Luo Ye used to manage the security department were sent over, including the structure of the security department, the responsibilities of the security department, the management regulations of the security department, and even Luo Ye's personal notes, etc. Fan Wenji asked Jin to take a look at these documents first, and then the two of them would discuss how to reorganize and rebuild together. After Jin read some of the documents, he was immediately attracted by Luo Ye's advanced management concepts. Seeing Jin carefully browsing these documents, Fan Wenji simply had Luo Ye's office cleared out and asked Jin to read all the documents in Luo Ye's office and then come to discuss with him. For Fan Wenji, these things are not urgent. The tour is the most important. Jin can read these documents as long as he wants. After studying Luo Ye's management concept for most of the day, Jin took time to check a new skill that he awakened in the last round of the tour in the evening. Death Shadow. This is undoubtedly a very powerful skill. The power of this skill lies in the stealth state. For assassins, the most important skills are undoubtedly stealth, followed by speed and displacement, and finally output. Only by ensuring their own safety can assassins output better, break out of the shadows, and take the head in an instant. Even if the assassination fails and is besieged, they can immediately escape into the shadows, making the besiegers lose their targets and ensure their own safety. The only bad thing about the Shadow of Death is that the cooldown time of this skill is quite long, reaching 5 minutes. And it cannot be shortened in any way, which means that this skill can only be used in a very critical moment to save one's life, and once used, one must ensure that one can safely escape from danger. Regarding the next round of the 8-4 tournament, Jin Ke himself has no idea. Although he shocked the world with 2-5 consecutive peerless in the battle with the Mang base and became famous in one fell swoop, it is undeniable that his 2-5 consecutive peerless were very accidental. If the opponent had not attacked the King Moss Mountain base with low health the first time, and all gathered together to besiege the Crystal Column, and no one took them, the cannon fodder, seriously, he would not have been able to successfully approach the opponent's elite group and throw out 15 death marks. The second time, he was given a chance when the 5 members of the elite group were fully output, and after Yun Fiang was resurrected. If he had not hacked and killed a group of cannon fodder out of anger, but first dealt with Yao Chengzu and Li Zheng, and then swept them, the cannon fodder, he would have nothing to do later. In the next round, no matter what opponent he faced, they would definitely review the video of this round's game, analyze his tactical characteristics, and make tactical arrangements targeting him as a cannon fodder. Jin Ke no longer had any secrets to hide from them. Even if he awakened the Death Shadow skill, it would not be of much help to him in the next round of the tournament. He had to find more trump cards. Chapter 258, Getting Worse. Now, what Jin Ke has to do is to use the energy core obtained from the mentor mission, absorb the energy points in it into his body, and upgrade the 3 skills of Evil Doctor's Poison Heart, Death Medicine and Death Shadow to LV8. If 1 or 2 of the 3 skills evolve successfully, and after the evolution, they can have a significant enhancement of strength from Death Dance to Death Charge, he will have a certain chance to help the base win in the next round of the tour. Otherwise, once he loses the next game, Fan Wenji may no longer be able to calm down those middle and high-level members of the base who are suffering from red-eye disease, and his situation will become difficult again. However, the most difficult time has passed. Even a high mountain like Luo Ye has been overturned by him. Those minions, Jin Ke really doesn't take them seriously. Jin Ke has long seen that the entire King Moss Mountain base has a serious talent gap, except for the top 5 members of the elite group, who are now the elite 4 members. The strength of others is not very good. Jin Ke's ability to kill Liang head-on means that apart from the top 4 members of the elite group, no one can pose a threat to him in terms of strength. Now that he has the orange equipment Pure Heart and a full set of purple equipment Speedrunner, his strength has been greatly improved compared to when he was head-on against Liang. If he really loses in the quarterfinals, and someone dares to do something to him, he doesn't mind defending himself a few more times. As for the 4 members of the elite group, although Fan Wenji is the leader of the base, he is born with a muddy personality. He often uses considering the overall situation as an excuse to act indecisively and not decisively. Even if he loses in the quarterfinals, Fan Wenji will at most be disappointed with Jin Ke, and will not take the initiative to do anything to him. Ran Makian is Fan Wenji's best friend. No matter what he does, he will unconditionally support Fan Wenji. As long as Fan Wenji is not stupid enough to deal with Jin Ke, Ran Makian will certainly not venture to do so. That Li Jing, although she is Zhang Daxiu's daughter, and is said to be an adopted daughter, her personality is more carefree than Yao Chengzu's, and she is unwilling to participate in any affairs of the base. After the quarterfinals, with her personality, she should not deliberately target Jin Ke. There is only one Yao Chengzu left, who has signed a contract with Jin Ke and is trying hard to win over Jin Ke. It is almost the same as being in the same boat. If someone dares to harm Jin Ke, he will probably be the first to stand up. Zhang Daxiu, the human resources director, has a somewhat inexplicably self-righteous personality, and thinks that he has a strong sense of justice. In fact, he just follows the crowd and is often used as a gun by others. If she dares to confront Jin Ke head-on, Jin Ke will give her an unforgettable experience and let her understand that some people in this world are more terrible than Luo Ye. After getting rid of Luo Ye, it must be said that the current situation in the base is very favorable to Jin Ke. What he needs to do is to sort out the current situation, find opportunities to get rid of dissidents one by one, and build up his own power. Why did so many people in the base fear Luo Ye in the past? Why did so many people regard Luo Ye as an idol, willing to obey and follow Luo Ye? Because Luo Ye was decisive and ruthless. Jin Ke and Luo Ye had a great feud and eventually killed Luo Ye, but it did not mean that he opposed Luo Ye's style of doing things. On the contrary, he felt that there were many things in Luo Ye that he could learn from. Soon, he would let the people in the base understand that without Luo Ye, there was still Jin Ke. If you dare to make me unhappy, I will let you taste what it means to get worse. After receiving the mentor's reward, Jin Ke now has sufficient energy points, enough to upgrade 3 skills to LV8. Let's upgrade Shadow of Death first. Jin Ke's body quickly absorbed the energy core rewarded by the mentor's task, and then infused the energy points into the Shadow of Death skill in real time. LV1 quickly upgraded to LV2, then LV3. After LV7, it finally upgraded to LV8. Evolve, evolve, evolve. Jin Ke watched the blue upgrade text prompt flashing non-stop. In a dozen seconds, whether he could evolve would be clear. Unfortunately, he failed. Jin Ke was a little disappointed, but he could only accept his fate. Currently, Jin Ke has a total of 6 skills upgraded to LV8 or above. Death Dance evolved into Death Assault at LV8, Death Arc evolved into Death Cut at LV8, and Death Kiss evolved into Death Mark at LV8. But Soul Gathering Technique, Arbitration of Good and Evil, and Shadow of Death did not evolve after they were upgraded to LV8. The success rate of evolution has now dropped to 50%. There are still 2 skills to evolve, one passive skill Evil Doctor Poison Heart, and the other Death-Taking Magic Medicine. For the passive skill Evil Doctor Poison Heart, the number of marks that can be stacked increases by 1 every 8 levels of the skill. Originally, only 5 layers of marks could be stacked, and only 6 layers can be stacked after reaching LV8. Only 7 layers can be stacked after reaching LV16. According to Chenwei, passive skills are the easiest to evolve. If the evolution of Shadow of Death fails, then try this Evil Doctor's Poison Heart first, and then try the Death Elixir. With enough energy points, The evil doctor's poison heart quickly upgraded to LV8. Evolve, evolve, evolve. Jin kept repeating in his heart. Unfortunately, it failed again. Oh my god. The evolution rate is already less than 50%. Jin was very depressed after 2 consecutive failures. Now, only the LV6 death elixir has not evolved. Today's luck is very bad. I have failed twice in a row. Should I give up and try again another day? Evolution also has a probability, right? Since it has failed twice in a row, the success rate of the 3rd time should be very high. If I miss this time today and try it at another time, I might miss this high success rate again. No more another day. Let's try it today. Soon, the death elixir upgraded from LV6 to LV8. After more than 10 seconds, the blue upgrade text prompt disappeared. The word skill evolution suddenly popped up on the phone screen. At the same time, an arrow appeared next to the original skill icon of deadly elixir, pointing to a new skill icon. The icon of this new skill is different from the original one. There is a light silver border around the icon. The name of the new skill is Fatal Redemption. The LV8 deadly elixir has evolved into the LV8 Fatal Redemption. Fatal Redemption launches energy poison mist at targets within 30 meters. The duration of the energy poison mist is skill level times 1.5 seconds. The range is 1 meter in diameter plus skill level times 0.25 meters. It causes basic attribute weight times skill level times number of poison marks times 1 points of spell damage per second to enemies within the range for 5 seconds. It also causes a deceleration and blinding effect. Chapter 259 Resignation. Fatal Redemption is similar to Death Elixir, with only a few differences in the data. But there are a few more lines of explanation at the end. Performs basic attribute weight times skill level times number of poison marks times 1 points of healing effect to itself and allies within the range per second, and at the same time increases the speed and attack power of itself and allies in the poison fog. Note: the effects of deceleration, blinding, speed increase and attack power increase will be invalid once the target leaves the poison fog area. Cooling time, 10 seconds. Energy consumption, 6, plus, skill level, times, 2, points. There are 4 important changes to the skill after evolution. First, the emission radius of the poison fog is increased from 20 meters to 30 meters. Second, the duration of the poison fog is increased by 50%. The poison fog also has the effect of healing allies and increasing speed and attack power. The last change is that the energy consumption is increased to twice the original. LV8, one use is 28 energy points. People without money should not use it as soon as possible, otherwise you will be back to the pre-liberation era overnight. Jin Ke frowned, feeling that the Fatal Redemption after evolution did not seem to improve his strength much. In fact, it improved his support for friendly forces, making him more like a nurse. In any case, this evolution still has some value, especially in the next round of the tour. Once the team battle begins, Jin Ke will first throw a cloud of poisonous fog into the battlefield from a distance, which will be a great support to his teammates. Then he will find the right time to cut into the battlefield and let the poisonous fog cover the whole field. Maybe it will have some miraculous effect. However, this improvement still makes Jin Ke not very satisfied, and it has not achieved the effect of rebirth he imagined. In order to ensure the victory of the next round of the tour, and to complete the pentakill again like this round against the Mang team, he must find a more effective way to improve his own strength. Go to the Dongling Mountain Maze to find the production of soul-splitting potion and open up a third profession. This takes a long time, and the success rate is very low. After going there, you still don't know what is going on in the maze, and you may lose your life. You have to know that Luo Ye had formed a team of 10 to enter the Dongling Mountain Labyrinth, and only he came back alive. Find a way to advance energy cultivation to the 2nd level. Unless he ventures into the darkness of the wild again, it is impossible to achieve it in a short time. Jin Ke would never take that kind of risk. That would be playing with his own life. Wheel and Home Community, 16 villas, 1st floor lobby. This month's routine summary meeting is over. Do you have anything else to ask me? Chen Wei ended the meeting and asked everyone at the end. Without Jin Ke's summary meeting, I always feel that something is missing. Zhu Shu spoke. I feel the same way. Liu Zhu also spoke. Don't talk about these things. If you miss him, go to see him next door. If you don't want to come back, I can also help you write an application to let you join Villa 17. Chen Wei pretended to be jealous. Haha, how can that be possible? Everyone laughed. I have something to tell everyone. Chen Yang raised his hand with a very hesitant expression. You say. Chen Wei gestured to Chen Yang. I want to say goodbye to Director Chen and everyone else. I've had a great time with you all during this period. You won't see me again in the future. If it's convenient for you in the future, go to Building 17 and tell my master that I'm very grateful for his help during this period. Chen Yang smiled at everyone, but everyone could see that he looked a little nervous and his body was shaking. Say goodbye? What do you mean? Are you quitting? Chen Wei frowned. Zhu Shu, Yu Zhu and others also looked at Chen Yang. Among the newcomers, Chen Yang was the one who was closer to the original 7-member group. I didn't expect him to want to resign. What does resignation mean? It means that he will be forcibly transformed into an NPC by the studio and end up like Luo Ye. That's a fate worse than death. Yes. Chen Yang nodded, then lowered his head as if to calm himself down. Hey, you have to think it over. Don't just quit. That will. Liu Zhu couldn't sit still and almost said the consequences in public. I've thought it through. I don't want to resign. I have to resign because I killed someone. Chen Yang raised his head. Killed someone? Everyone present was stunned. 10 years ago, when I was 12 years old, my father had an argument with Old Man Li from the east end of the village over trivial matters. Somehow they started fighting. Old Man Li and his 2 sons, Big Li and Little Li, beat up my father. Big Li smashed my father's head with an iron pipe. I watched my father fall down, bleeding profusely, but they continued to kick and slam my father. I was very scared at the time and just yelled at them to stop. After they stopped swearing, I rushed over. I held my father's bleeding head and looked at him and shouted at him. He opened his mouth to say something to me, but blood came out of his mouth. His nose and eyes were also bleeding. When my mother came and asked someone to send my father to the hospital, the doctor said he was dead. Old Man Li and his 2 sons, Big Li and Little Li, were arrested. A few days later, Old Man Li and Big Li were released. Little Li pleaded guilty and said that he had beaten my father to death. Because he was under 18 years old, he was only sentenced to 6 years and then released. Their family claimed that they had no money, and they only compensated our family a total of 5,000 yuan. I didn't understand at the time. I didn't know why Big Li beat my father to death and Little Li was locked up. Later I realized that Little Li was under 18 years old and it was impossible for him to be locked up for too long. After my father died, my mother became depressed because of sadness and anger. She was crazy all day long. When I was 15, she accidentally fell into the river and drowned. Old Man Li was probably guilty. He moved away not long after my father died. When I grew up, I kept looking for them everywhere. Finally, I found their residence in Huang City. It happened that the studio was recruiting at this time, so they recruited me here, giving me a temporary place to stay. In the past 2 months of playing games, I don't understand why my physical strength has obviously increased a lot compared to before. The master also taught me a lot of useful fighting skills, which made me more and more confident in revenge. Today is Old Man Li's birthday. His 2 sons, Big Li and Little Li, are now successful. They held a birthday party for him in the hotel. I asked for leave from the base and didn't participate in today's tour. I pretended to be a guest and sneaked into the hotel. And then, Chapter 260, an opportunity. The fighting skills taught by my master made it easy for me to avenge my father. I slipped out while the scene was in chaos, and walked around before returning to the villa. But I guessed that someone would come to arrest me soon, so, I want to say goodbye to you in advance. Chen Yang stopped with a long sigh. The scene was silent, and everyone looked at Chen Yang together, and no one spoke. I really didn't expect that he would have such a story. Okay, I'm going to turn myself in. Chen Yang stood up and strode out of the villa. Everyone also stood up silently and followed Chen Yang out of the villa gate. with mixed feelings in their hearts. In a situation like this, they didn't know how to persuade him. Chen Yang continued to walk forward, and everyone followed him silently, still not knowing what to say or what to do. The hatred for killing my father is irreconcilable. Ha 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 ha. It's been 10 years. The hatred has finally been avenged. I, Chen Yang, can finally comfort the spirits of my parents in heaven. However, I still understand the principle of life for life. Everyone, I'll go first. Chen Yang walked to the gate of the villa community, suddenly took out a short knife from his sleeve, and wiped it on his neck. Ah, there were screams at the scene, and several security guards patrolling near the gate quickly surrounded him. Don't. Chen Wei, Yu Shu and others wanted to stop Chen Yang, but it was too late. Chen Yang's knife was very fast and decisive, leaving him no chance to survive. Chen Yang's body fell softly on the path in front of the villa, and he kept smiling on his face. Soon the police and 120 rushed over. At noon, a murder case did happen in a hotel, and the murderer was on the run. The murderer had committed suicide. The murder weapon has also been found. Then there were various inquiries and notes, mainly handled by instructor Chen Wei. At dinner time, everyone ate in the restaurant on the first floor and discussed the funeral arrangements for Chen Yang. The scene was quite depressing. Jin Ke also rushed over after hearing the news, and remained silent after hearing about the incident. This glass of wine is for Chen Yang in heaven. You are a man. Zhu Shu picked up a glass of wine and poured it on the place where Chen Yang usually sat, then poured himself another glass and drank it in one gulp. Others followed Zhu Shu's example, silently came over to toast Chen Yang where he usually sat, and then sat together. Jin Ke drank 3 glasses. In this villa, he and Chen Yang had the closest relationship, and Chen Yang always called him master. I really didn't expect that he would leave in such a way. No wonder he found Jin Ke during the tour and asked Jin Ke to replace him as cannon fodder at the King Tai Mountain base. The urgent matter he mentioned turned out to be this matter. I don't know much about the law. Tell me, is it right for Chen Yang to kill people to avenge his father? If he turns himself in, will he be sentenced to death? If not, it would be too unfair for him to die like this. Yu Gang asked the crowd with some doubts. Killing 3 people in public is a serious crime and will definitely be sentenced to death. There is no way to defend it. Zhu Shu spoke. But why do I always feel that this matter is awkward? Isn't filial piety wrong? Apart from doing this, how else can Chen Yang comfort the spirits of his parents in heaven? Yu Gang drank another glass with a somewhat uncomfortable expression. I can't answer your question. Zhu Shu shook his head. If it were me, I would want to kill people too. Liu Zhu said with red eyes. You can imagine how much of a shock it was for him, a young boy, holding his father, watching him bleed from his mouth and nose, and dying in his arms. Dao Beiqing also spoke. This kind of thing will never be forgotten in a lifetime. Qin Heiji also spoke. Don't be sad. Chen Yang is here. He is still alive. Niu suddenly said to everyone. It's not dark yet. Don't say such things. Yu Gang hit Niu's fat head. He is indeed here, in the restaurant. Didn't you see him? Niu was a little anxious. Where? Zhu Shu looked around. I'm serious. It's in the game. In the restaurant of the base. Look, he is talking to us. Niu took out the mobile phone on his lap. Everyone hurriedly took out their mobile phones. Their characters were also eating in the restaurant of the base at this time, and they were also sitting together, but there was one more person in the restaurant of the base. It was Chen Yang. He was indeed talking to them. I'm still alive. I actually appeared in the game. No, I completely entered the game. This is all amazing. Amazing. Can you hear me talking? Chen Yang shouted to everyone in the cafeteria of the base. I heard it. You entered the game? Zhu Shu asked Chen Yang in great surprise using the microphone of his mobile phone, and the expressions of others were also very shocked. Yes, it was me who entered the game. I don't know what happened, but I'm still alive, and everything around me is exactly the same as in the game world, but much more real. No, it feels exactly the same as in the real world. It hurts when I pinch myself. Chen Yang was also very excited after hearing Zhu Shu's reply. If you die in the game, you will also die in the real world. If you die in the real world, your soul will travel through time and enter the body of the character in the game. This is all incredible. Zhu Shu continued to be surprised. Yes, it's incredible. Thank you so much to the studio. Thank you for this game, which gave me a chance to be reborn and a chance to be with you. I have revenged myself, and I don't have to worry about being caught and sentenced to death. Chen Yang's tone sounded so excited that he was about to cry. That's great. I thought I would never see you again. I'm so happy that you're still alive. Liu Zhu, who was holding the phone, started crying first. Master, are you there? Can you hear me? Chen Yang shouted to Jin Ke. I can hear you. Jin Ke smiled, and his previous uncomfortable mood also eased. This ending is perfect. Too perfect. Director Chen is right. Playing this game really gives us an opportunity. I am very grateful for this game. Thank you to the studio. Thank you to Director Chen. Thank you to my master for helping me. Chen Yang burst into tears. It's really an opportunity. Everyone was also very emotional. If Chen Yang hadn't joined the studio and hadn't played this game, he would have really died this time. However, he is still alive, has his own consciousness, and is clearly alive. Chen Yang, wouldn't it be more fun to play games like this? Like VR. Niyu's focus was obviously different from others. Chapter 261 Random Mode, VR. It's far worse than this feeling. There's no difference between here and the real world. Damn, you make me want to try it too. Niyu looked envious. The food in the base is much more delicious than in the real world. Chen Yang stuffed a piece of barbecue into his mouth. Does it hurt when you wipe your neck? Niyu continued to ask Chen Yang. Are you crazy? Yu Gang patted Niyu on the head again. Don't. It hurts. Chen Yang heard something was wrong and quickly stopped Niyu. Hurt? Forget it. I'm most afraid of pain. Niyu laughed. Building 17 of Wheel and Home Community. Jin Ke's bedroom. Warning. The first batch of 15 new colleagues must be recruited within 10 days of serving as a mentor. Otherwise 10 days' salary will be deducted. Back at Villa 17, when Jin Ke was lying on the bed and looking at his phone, the system popped up a warning to Jin Ke. There was no way Jin Ke had to continue recruiting. He had given up the idea of asking the studio to recruit on his behalf. Those 10 chattering girls annoyed him. In order to make the 17 villas normal, he still had to recruit a few male colleagues. He casually browsed the news, but didn't find anyone who had committed a heinous crime but escaped punishment. It seems that he has to use the random search mode. Jin Ke turned on the random mode and customized the search keyword, male. After the random recruitment was turned on, Jin Ke's vision flickered and finally locked on a target, a man named Mo Bei. Do you want to display the location of the target? The system popped up a prompt. Yes, Jin Ke confirmed with his mind. A map appeared at the edge of Jin Ke's vision, showing the specific location of the recruitment target Mo Bei, which was also somewhere in the urban area of Huang City, more than 40 minutes drive from the Blue Home Community. Do you want to display the real-time status of the target? The system popped up a prompt again. Yes. After Jin Ke confirmed, a virtual three-dimensional image appeared on the other side of his vision. There was a 20-year-old man holding a mobile phone, but his eyes were looking at Jin Ke. What's wrong with this guy? Jin Ke looked at the man and felt a chill all over his body. The man's face was very pale, abnormally pale, and his eyes were very dark, so dark that you couldn't see the whites of his eyes. There was also a faint sound of water dripping around the man, which was very creepy. Ghost. Jin Ke's first feeling. Do you want to display the target's mobile phone screen? The system popped up a prompt again. Yes. After Jin Ke confirmed, Mo Bei's mobile phone screen appeared in his field of vision. Mo Bei's mobile phone screen was pitch black. You have successfully hacked into Mo Bei's mobile phone. Do you want to send him a recruitment message? The system popped up a prompt again. Mo Bei and the three-dimensional image of the field of vision walked towards Jin Ke step by step. The white light above his head flashed a few times, making a sizzling sound of electricity. The sound of water dripping around him became louder. No, no, no. Jin Ke really didn't want to invite such a living ghost to his side. Please change the target. The system turned off Mo Bei's video display and popped up a prompt message. Oh my god. Jin Ke patted his chest, feeling a bit frightened. Are there really ghosts in this world? He just randomly searched for a ghost. A web drama shooting site in Huang City. Cut. The director shouted. How did I act? Mo Bei put down his phone and asked the director. There are some feelings. but it's not scary enough, the director pondered. I think we should replace the black pupil lenses with white pupil lenses, and add some plasma instead of just powder on the face to make it more scary. Mo Bei suggested a few words to the director. The kind of ghost you mentioned is too vulgar and has become a common sight. Our web drama should be different. The director rejected Mo Bei's proposal. Okay, I'm just talking casually. I like the way you say. Mo Bei looked around. For some reason, when he was acting just now, he felt like he was being spied on. A feeling of being spied on by something mysterious and powerful. Mo Bei's body couldn't help but shudder. Could it be that acting a ghost really brought about a ghost? Of course, Jin Ke would never have thought that when he was recruiting Mo Bei. Mo Bei was acting in an online drama ghost movie. As a result, Jin Ke thought he had recruited a living ghost and had to give up recruiting Mo Bei. In order to complete the task, the recruitment work must continue. Jin Ke still turned on the random mode, and then customized the search keyword, male. After the random recruitment was turned on, Jin Ke's vision flickered, and finally locked on another target, a man named Ye Xiaoqing. Do you want to display the location of the target? The system popped up a prompt. Yes, Jin Ke confirmed with his mind. A map appeared at the edge of Jin Ke's vision, showing the specific location of the recruitment target Ye Xiaoqing, which was also somewhere in the urban area of Huang City, half an hour's drive from the Blue Home community. Do you want to display the real-time status of the target? The system popped up a prompt again. Yes. After Jin Ke confirmed, a screen appeared on the other side of his vision, and there was a woman in it. She was playing with her mobile phone. This is a long-haired woman with thick eyeshadow, red lipstick on her lips, manicure on her hands, and a water-red skirt. I want to recruit men. Why did you recruit a woman? What the hell? Jin Ke cursed. While Jin Ke was cursing, Ye Xiaoqing walked towards the bathroom in the room, put his phone on the sink after entering, and then stood up and ran water into the toilet. Poisoning? It's a shamal. It's so disgusting. Jin Ke cursed. Do you want to display the target's phone screen? The system popped up a prompt again. No, you have successfully hacked into Ye Xiaoqing's phone. Do you want to send him a recruitment message? The system popped up a prompt again. No, get as far away as you can. Jin Ke definitely didn't want to recruit a shamal to his side. Jin Ke continued to recruit people in random mode. He customized the search keywords again. Male, normal personality, between 20 and 30 years old, healthy, normal orientation, not a shamal, not a ghost. After the random recruitment was turned on, Jin Ke's vision flickered, and finally locked onto another target, a man named Du Jushu. Do you want to display the target's location? The system popped up a prompt. Yes. Jin Ke confirmed it with his mind. A map appeared at the edge of Jin Ke's vision, showing the specific location of the recruitment target Du Jushu, which was also somewhere in the urban area of Huang City, an hour's drive from the Wheelan Home community. Chapter 262 Department General Meeting. Show the target's real-time status. The system popped up a prompt again. Yes. After Jin Ke confirmed, a screen appeared on the other side of his vision, with a young man holding a mobile phone and looking at it. Show the target's mobile phone screen. The system popped up a prompt again. Yes. The mobile phone screen in the young man's hand was displayed at the edge of Jin Ke's vision. He was obviously reading an online novel. You have successfully hacked into Du Jushu's mobile phone. Do you want to send him a recruitment message? The system popped up a prompt again. Yes. Jin Ke was very satisfied with the random target this time. Finally, it was not a beauty, a ghost, or a transvestite, but a normal man in his 20s or 30s. Please select the style of the recruitment information, or use the custom mode. The system popped up a prompt. Jin Ke chose custom. Du Jushu, who was reading an online novel, suddenly had a stranger's message pop up on QQ. Do you want to understand the meaning of life? Do you want to really live? What the hell? Du Jushu frowned. At this moment, a high-speed dump truck forced to overtake a small car from behind. Due to the limited vision, the driver did not see Du Jushu crossing the street on the sidewalk. Bang! There was a muffled sound. Du Jushu flew up. His body was torn apart by the violent impact, and he spun more than 10 times in the air before falling to the ground. In the end, The screen was fixed on his head with only half of his head left. Damn. Jin Ke was stunned. Was this man killed by him? He was walking with his mobile phone. No, he was crossing the street while reading an online novel. In that scene just now, even if Jin Ke did not contact him on QQ, he would still be hit by the dump truck. Was it intentional? Someone in the studio was playing tricks on him? He refused to choose beautiful women and refused to let the studio recruit on his behalf, so he used all kinds of weird candidates to prevent him from recruiting normal people. Jin Ke thought that since he was a mentor and could see the real-time status of the recruited people when recruiting, then people with higher authority in the studio must be able to secretly monitor him. He modified the target he wanted to recruit from the background. It's called random, but it's not random at all. I know you are watching me right now, and you want to laugh at me, right? Is this fun? Is it fun? Is it fun? Jin Ke protested loudly to the air and the ceiling. No one responded. Forget it. My mood for today has been ruined. Let the studio play however it wants. As for the recruitment, let them recruit and let them handle it. Game World, King Moss Mountain Base. Jin Ke stayed in Luo Ye's office for 2 days to study those documents. Only after he felt that he had fully understood Luo Ye's management philosophy, as well as the structure, responsibilities, and management norms of the security department, did he go to Fan Wenji's office to discuss with him. After carefully browsing these documents, Jin Ke found that he agreed with Luo Ye's management ideas, especially Luo Ye's idea of managing the security department as an army. When discussing and talking with Fan Wenji, Jin Ke felt that Fan Wenji was indecisive and hesitant. He considered too many aspects and relationships and had too many concerns about every matter. The discussion and conversation did not have a very good result. In the end, Jin Ke put forward his opinion very firmly. That is, in the matter of rebuilding the security department, Fan Wenji should not interfere too much and let Jin Ke do it himself. Fan Wenji was a little uncomfortable with Jin Ke's tough attitude, but he finally agreed to let Jin Ke do it. He only suggested that if Jin Ke's approach was not effective and might cause problems with the base's security system, he would intervene from the management level. Before the tour, let Jin Ke do it. What can a new student do? Fan Wenji estimated that with Jin Ke's current status, even if he was appointed as the deputy director, it would be difficult to convince the public when he arrived at the security department. In the end, he had to do it himself to get it done. After completing the personnel formalities, Fan Wenji and Zhang Daxiu accompanied Jin Ke to the security department and asked the assistant director of the security department to convene a general meeting of all the security department personnel. At present, the security department of the base has a total of 200 employees, which are divided into 4 districts for management: East District, West District, South District and North District. Each district has about 50 people and is led by a district captain. Each district has 5 teams, and a team leader directly manages the work of 10 security guards. The deputy director of the security department is usually called the captain. In the past, he was responsible to Luo Ye, the deputy director of the base. Now Jin Ke serves as the deputy director of the security department and is temporarily directly responsible to Fan Wenji. Luo Ye's secret laboratory incident caused the loss of more than a dozen people in the security team, mainly personnel in the South District, including the team leader Chen Hongfei of the South District, who also died in the laboratory. The middle-level personnel in this team are basically the confidants of Luo Ye and Li Liang, the head of the base, Fan Wenji, and the personnel director, Zhang Daxiu, accompanied Jin Ke to hold the department meeting of the security department. The main purpose was to help Jin Ke calm down the situation, introduce Jin Ke to all the employees of the security department, and tell them that Jin Ke is now their supervisor and that they will report their work to Jin Ke in the future. The team leaders of the East District, West District, and North District whispered in the meeting, and their expressions seemed a little dissatisfied. They originally thought that after Li Liang died, one of them would be able to take over. They never expected that Fan Wenji would parachute an intern employee to serve as the director of the security department, completely treating them as heir. The security department is a very important department in the base. The new director Jin is very young and has no experience. I am afraid that he is not qualified to serve as the deputy director of the security department. You old employees should help him more and point out his mistakes in time so that he can improve faster. Well, that's all I have to say. Director Jin, please come up and say a few words to everyone. Zhang Daxiu finished her speech, and according to the procedure, the new director Jin Ke spoke. I have a few words for Director Zhang. After Jin Ke came on stage, he glanced at the audience and then looked at Zhang Daxiu. Oh, Zhang Daxiu frowned, not quite understanding what Jin Ke meant. Director Zhang, as the HR director, you only need to take care of your own business. We all report directly to Director Fan, so you should stop interfering in the affairs of the security department in the future. I am indeed young and inexperienced, but even if I do something wrong, Director Fan will naturally correct it. I don't need you to make irresponsible remarks, nor do I need these subordinates to dictate to me. What they need to do is to absolutely obey my orders. Jin Ke looked at Zhang Daxiu with a stern expression. Chapter 263, Insult. Jin Ke had just arrived and was appointed as the head of the security department. It was conceivable that these old employees would be very dissatisfied. Fan Wenji and Zhang Daxiu came here to establish his prestige so that it would be convenient for him to manage in the future. As a result, Zhang Daxiu said a lot of things, which not only did not help him manage the security department, but also put him in an extremely passive state. Why do you have such an attitude, Dao Jin? Zhang Daxiu never expected that Jin Ke would refute her words one by one in front of Fan Wenji and all the employees of the security department, which made her feel embarrassed. This is the security department. If you are not happy with my attitude, Director Zhang, you can leave here and go back to your human resources department. Jin Ke replied to Zhang Daxiu very firmly. What did you say just now? Zhang Daxiu was a little angry. When Luo Ye was here before, he had a very bad attitude towards her. This time, a new person was replaced, and he was just an unqualified deputy director. I didn't expect that his attitude would also be so bad. Okay, stop talking. Fan Wenji stopped Zhang Daxiu in a low voice. He didn't expect Jin to be so tough, but in such a meeting, if the middle and senior leaders of the base quarreled in public, they would lose their prestige and face. Although Fan Wenji was a little surprised by Jin Ke's toughness, after careful consideration, Zhang Daxiu's words were indeed inappropriate. The security department personnel of the base are like the relationship between the army and the people compared to other ordinary employees. To manage the security department well, we must manage the security department as the army. Subordinates must obey their superiors unconditionally. If they violate the rules, they will be severely punished. As long as I am in this position, I will not allow any subordinates to challenge my rules and every word I say. Jin Ke turned to the people in front of him. Jin Ke had no management experience before. He just carefully browsed the documents left by Luo Ye and felt that it made sense, so he directly used it. If Jin Ke just treated all this as a game, he certainly wouldn't be so serious, but now he knows that all this is not a game. For his own safety, he must be as tough as Luo Ye. Since he is in charge of the security department, he must firmly control the power in his own hands. If you want to firmly control the power, you can't let your subordinates have the so-called freedom of speech, and you must never allow your subordinates to point fingers at what he does and says. Democracy is nonsense, and any dissidents must be eliminated as soon as possible. Jin Ke is a smart man. After understanding Luo Ye's management experience, he quickly knew how to manage the security department and how to do these jobs. Director Zhang, I resign. Chen Bin, the captain of the security team in the North District, suddenly stood up and said to Zhang Daxiu, Director Zhang, I resign too. As if it was an appointment, the captains of the security teams in the East District and the West District also stood up and said to Zhang Daxiu, and then the three looked at Jin Ke with a playful look on their faces. The security guards in the conference room laughed. He looked at Jin Ke and laughed, his expression full of sarcasm. A young man, who does he think he is? He just said a lot of things so fiercely, not allowed to do this, not allowed to do that, and all his subordinates resigned. Let's see how you can play. It's meeting time now. Please go back to your seats immediately. Jin Ke slammed the table in front of him with a bang and ordered the 3 team leaders. "Manager Zhang, I'm going to the Human Resources Department now. Can I go through the resignation procedures?" Chanbin turned a deaf ear to what Jin Ke said and continued to ask Zhang Daxiu loudly. Everyone present could see that he just wanted to embarrass the new manager, so that he couldn't get off the stage and admit his weakness in front of these old employees. Ha 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 ha. The security guards in the meeting room laughed even louder, and some even whistled. Then they all looked at Jin Ke on the stage with an expression of watching a monkey show. "We have been in the security department of the base for so many years. Why should we listen to the orders of a young man like you?" "Chanbin, we are in a meeting now. As the head of the security department, I order you to sit back in your seat. This is my last warning to you." Jin Ke raised his voice and ordered Chanbin again. "It's so funny. Can you manage a department just by having a loud voice? Now Jin is still too young and really not suitable for the job of a supervisor." "Manager Fan, you should think about it again," Zhang Daxiu muttered to Fan Wenji beside him. "Who else wants to go through the resignation procedures? Come with me. Let's go to the Human Resources Department." Chanbin completely ignored Jin Ke's warning and shouted a few words to the security guards who were cheering behind him. "Let's go, let's go." The other 3 team leaders and the security guards all stood up from their seats, and all kinds of weird laughs and whistles showed their disdain for Jin Ke, the new supervisor. Article 6 of Chapter 7 of the Security Department's Staff Rules and Regulations. Anyone who violates orders, commits a crime against his superiors, or refuses to repent after being warned shall be killed. Jin Ke read out the rules and regulations loudly in the noisy conference room. Jin Ke had learned these rules and regulations thoroughly in the past 2 days. These were the rules and regulations set by Luo Ye. Although Luo Ye was dead, these rules and regulations had not been abolished. In response to him, there were still all kinds of laughter and ridicule. Clang! An orange light flashed in Jin Ke's hand, and soul detention appeared in his left hand, and pure heart appeared in his right hand. A green mist instantly enveloped the area where Chanbin was standing, and then an energy wave and a light and shadow rushed into the green mist. Clang, 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 clang. A sound like a knife was heard, and the next moment, Chanbin's screams were heard in the green mist. After the green mist dissipated, Jin Ke had returned to the podium of the conference hall, holding Chanbin's head in his hand. Where Chanbin had just stood, there was only a headless corpse left. Ah! Everyone at the scene was stunned. Zhang Daxiu was so frightened when she saw what Jin Ke was holding in his hand that she turned pale and screamed. Alas! Fan Wenji was also extremely shocked when he saw this scene. He really didn't expect Jin Ke to kill people in public in the base conference room. Fan Wenji opened his mouth and wanted to say something, but in the end he just sighed and said nothing. The tour is about to start again, and the tour cannot be without Jin Ke. As the head of the base, he has to take the overall situation into consideration. At this time, no matter how outrageous Jin Ke's actions are, he must endure it. Who else wants to be the next Chanbin, to rebel against my orders? Jin Ke picked up the head and looked around the conference room. The team leaders of the East and West districts, who had just joined Chanbin in clamoring to resign, looked at Chanbin's head in Jin Ke's hand and Chanbin's body on the ground. They sat back in their seats quietly and looked at Fan Wenji and Zhang Daxiu. If you're listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means they downloaded and uploaded it without effort. We cordially invite you to visit our channel, Mundo Fanfic Novelist. There you'll find the original version of this story and you can explore many other novels of various genres. We are waiting for you to immerse yourself in a world of incredible novels. Chapter 264. The overall situation is important. The security guards who had been making a fuss and mocking Jin Ke in the conference room fell silent, seeing Jin Ke standing on the podium with murderous intent, and the captains of the East and West districts quietly sitting back in their seats. They also hurriedly sat back in their seats, and then looked at Fan Wenji and Zhang Daxiu. Jin Ke, you have seriously violated. Zhang Daxiu was being watched by everyone, and seemed to realize her responsibility as the personnel director of the base. She had to speak up and condemn Jin Ke. Jin Ke didn't even look at Zhang Daxiu, and threw the thing in his hand at her. Zhang Daxiu subconsciously reached out to catch the thing thrown by Jin Ke, and then was directly frightened and fainted, and there was a strange smell in the air. Fan Wenji just frowned, and then pretended not to see the eyes of the security guards in the conference room asking for help. Is there anyone else who wants to resign? Or does anyone have any objection to my position as the head of the security department? Jin Ke walked down from the podium, scanning every employee in the security department. No one dared to stand up. No one dared to speak again. Wherever Jin Ke's eyes went, the security guards lowered their heads, and their fear of Jin Ke was no less than that of Luo Ye. Since no one has resigned, and no one has any objection to my appointment as the head of the security department, then, okay, now, I think we can start our security department meeting. First of all, in addition to continuing to strictly implement the various management regulations formulated by the predecessor Luo and implementing military management, I will emphasize a few more rules. Rule 1. Those who disobey my management will be killed. Rule 2. Those who dare to say bad things about me in person or behind my back will be killed. Rule 3. Those who dare to report me in person or behind my back will be killed. Rule 4. Those who dare to give me opinions will be killed. Rule 5. Those who do not apply to me in person but resign privately to the Human Resources Department will be killed. Rule 6. Those who take the initiative to get close to me and are honest and obedient will be promoted first. Rule 7. Those who take the initiative to report and expose other colleagues' unfavorable remarks about me and have them verified will be promoted first. Rule 8. Jin continued. The whole audience was silent. Fan Wenji frowned even more when he heard what Jin said. Sigh. Forget it. The overall situation is more important. The overall situation is more important. Although he managed to deal with the base security department in a few minutes with his powerful force, Jin Ke knew that many people in the base were still unwilling to accept him, including Fan Wenji. If it weren't for the pressure of the tour, he would have stopped him just now. In the next tour, if Jin Ke replaced Yuan Qiang, he actually didn't have much confidence in his own strength. It's a very simple truth. Everything is based on data. His current basic attributes, the sum of the 10 stats is about 130, and after taking the tonic rewarded by Fan Wenji, it barely reached 145, while the 10 stats of sea-level strongmen are between 360 and 620. Because the various attributes are very complicated and not easy to calculate clearly, Jin can only get a rough data. That is, without wearing equipment, the health and output capabilities of these sea-level strongmen are about 10 to 20 times his. Once wearing armor, the armor of different levels and the same quality, the difference in armor-added health and output capabilities between the two sides can even reach dozens or hundreds of times. Sea-level warriors can equip sea-level weapons and armor, but Jin Ke has low basic attributes. Even if he participates in the ranking competition, he can only get a level evaluation at most due to the limitation of 10 sieges. The use requirements of weapons and armor are not directly linked to the level of warriors, but are linked to basic attributes. If the basic attributes do not reach a certain value, you cannot participate in the higher level ranking competition, and you cannot reach the corresponding warrior level. Therefore, the use requirements of weapons and armor, in a way, are basically consistent with the corresponding level of warriors. Low basic attributes, such as agility of only about 15 points, make Jin Ke unable to use higher level weapons or equip higher level armor, and the things like AFK training basic attributes all rely on time to slowly grind, consume, and accumulate. At present, Jin Ke has to practice rune carving and cultivate energy, leaving very little time for basic attribute training. If he cannot improve his strength as soon as possible and cannot make himself an indispensable member of the base elite group in the second round of the tour next week, his status in the base will definitely plummet, and then some scoundrels will start to target him again. He must become stronger as soon as possible. When Luo Ye was alive, his goal was to kill Luo Ye. Now that Luo Ye is dead, His goal is to make himself live as strong as Luo Ye. Only when you are strong enough will more people willingly depend on you. Only when the power of your subordinates becomes huge will you be truly safe and not be ordered around by others. Of course, Jin Ke will also learn from Luo Ye's lessons and will not ignore any potential enemy. Once they appear, they must be eliminated as soon as possible by various means. The reason why Jin Ke awakened to the first level of energy cultivation was that he was forced to be locked in the dark life and death stake in the wild for a whole night. After agreeing to practice with Yao Chengzu and signing a soul contract with Yao Chengzu, Yao Chengzu taught Jin Ke a set of exercises from the first level of energy to the second level. After getting this exercise, Jin Ke spent most of his time on energy cultivation. However, there has been no progress for Jin Ke, who often awakens certain skills and upgrades skills. This kind of training without movement and progress makes him very uncomfortable. He wants to quickly improve his strength before the start of the tour next week, and advancing from the first energy level to the second energy level should be the best way. The improvement of the energy level is equivalent to the comprehensive improvement of all basic attributes of the body. Although the values of the basic attributes of the body have not changed on the surface, they have actually been greatly strengthened. This is also the reason why Jin can easily kill D-level warriors even though his 10 circumference is still at the E level, because he has the cultivation of the first energy level. Yao Chengzu is very lazy. Jin estimates that Yao Chengzu should not have done much boring basic attribute training. His 10 circumference is at most equivalent to a D-level warrior, but he relies on the cultivation of the second energy level and can already dominate the C-level warrior arena. Jin believes that once he is promoted from the first energy level to the second energy level, he will have the strength to compete with C-level warriors head-on and even kill them. At that time, no one in the entire Qingtai Mountain base, including Fan Wenji, dared to say no to him. Chapter 265, You Will Suffer the Consequences. Qingtai Mountain Base, Dormitory number 18. Congratulations on moving into dormitory number 18. Jin Ke is now the second most important person in the base. Yao Chengzu, Liu Junming, Zheng Shidao and Jin Ke were drinking tea in the pavilion of dormitory number 18, watching the small fish swimming around in the artificial stream next to them. Yao Chengzu teased Jin Ke a few words. Master Yao, you are joking. I just want to have more say. I don't want others to decide the life and death of me and my master with a few words. Jin Ke waved his hand. My apprentice has made progress. Are you jealous? Zheng Shidao seemed to be in a good mood. I am really happy for Hulk. Having more souls is an advantage. It's a pity that I am old and can't show off like Hulk. Liu Junming was also very happy for Jin Ke. Actually, I'm not as good as I show myself to be. I got 2 pentakills in the last game, which was largely due to luck. If I want to have this kind of performance in the next week's tour, I'll have to break through to the second energy level before the tour. Master, how long did it take you to cultivate to the second energy level? Is there any way to achieve it quickly? Jin Ke asked Yao Chengzu a question that he was particularly concerned about now. You really can't be impatient. When I was young, I worshipped a master and cultivated energy. It took me 3 years to cultivate to the first level. It took me 9 years to go from the first level to the second level. Yao Chengzu answered Jin Ke. 9 years. Jin Ke felt like banging his head against the wall after hearing this. People like Yao Chengzu should also be gifted warriors, but it took him 9 years to cultivate from the first energy level to the second level. Even if Jin Ke is a cheat, how much can he shorten this time? Unless he is in the darkness of the wild again and then survives miraculously. But even the cheaters didn't dare to do so, so Jin Ke would not risk his life. For a lazy person like me, I just practice slowly when I can't sleep in bed, guiding the energy to circulate in my body, which is much easier than training basic attributes. Yao Chengzu smiled. Okay, I'll practice slowly. Jin Ke sighed. You are already very good. With your current strength, plus the protection of your 2 masters, you can almost walk sideways in the base. However, sometimes people have to learn to be low-key, otherwise they may offend villains and be targeted. Liu Junmin persuaded Jin Ke a few words. I used to be very low-key, But what happened? I was used as a scapegoat in the power struggle of the top leaders of the base and almost died in the darkness in the wild. Jin Ke looked unhappy. That's right. When it's time to be high profile, be high profile. I think Ke has done a good job. If he is not so high profile and tough, how can those bastards in the security department listen to him obediently? If we don't suppress those bastards, they will harm us sooner or later. Zhang Shidao disagreed with Liu Junming's statement. Ke, you can go ahead boldly. We will help you from behind. Yao Chengzu seemed to prefer the current aggressive Jin Ke. Thank you, three elders. In the base, you are my relatives. You have helped me a lot during this period. When you are old, I will take care of your retirement. Jin Ke picked up the teacup and drank it first to show his respect to the three of them. Although Jin Ke agreed with Luo Ye's management philosophy and some of his work style, it did not mean that he would completely become a person like Luo Ye. Luo Ye is very cold-blooded, but he will not. He has family affection and love in his heart. The most important thing is that he has Xue'er. He works hard, he struggles, he is strong, and everything he does is not only for himself, but also for his loved ones. He had to protect his own safety. Only when he was safe could he protect his loved ones. In the evening, just as Jin Ke was straining and teasing Xue'er, his phone suddenly sounded an alarm. The energy restriction of dormitory number 18 had been opened. The whole thing was like a sealed jar. It was impossible for the character to be in danger inside, right? Jin quickly picked up his phone to check. It wasn't his character that was in danger, but an email from the studio. In the studio branch under your jurisdiction, an employee named Zhang Mengdai hasn't logged into the game for 2 days. Please find out the reason and solve it as soon as possible. Zhang Mengdai. What the hell? When there is only one beautiful woman around you, it is easy to focus your attention on her. However, when there are a group of beautiful women around you, you can't even tell who is who. After Jin Ke failed to recruit on his own, he fully authorized the studio to conduct the recruitment work. As a result, in the studio branch under his jurisdiction, there are 15 more beauties whose names he can't even call out and who can't tell who is who when they meet. For others, they may think this is a benefit, but Jin Ke only felt upset and tired. But then again, among the 15 beauties, he was not unrecognizable. At least he could recognize the two he recruited. One was a cute girl named Zhang Mengdai, and the other was Mint who picked his toes and ate cookies. The former was because Zhang Mengdai was the only one he actively recruited. The latter left a deeper impression. Jin Ke was very angry when he received this email and found that the employees were not working properly. But considering that Zhang Mengdai was the only employee he actively tricked into coming in, Mint who came with her did not count, because Mint came here on her own. So, Jin Ke decided to be patient and find Zhang Mengdai to find out the situation. Jin Ke rang the doorbell of Zhang Mengdai in Mint's room. Who is it? Zhang Mengdai's voice came from the intercom system in the room. It's me, Jin Ke. Jin Ke's voice was very stern. Oh. Wait a minute, I'm not dressed yet. Zhang Mengdai's panicked voice came out. It's not time to go to bed yet. What does it mean to be naked in the room? Jin Ke rolled his eyes. After waiting for a few minutes, Zhang Mengdai still didn't come to open the door. Knock knock. Jin Ke knocked hard on the door. Who is it? Who else? Me. I've been outside your door all the time. When will you open the door? Jin Ke was angry. Don't be angry. I'll wash my face and come out. Zhang Mengdai was even more panicked. Come to my room to find me within 10 minutes. Otherwise you will bear the consequences. Jin Ke left a sentence and returned to the master bedroom on the second floor. 9 minutes later, Zhang Mengdai came out of the room, carefully approached the door of Jin Ke's master bedroom and knocked on the door. Bo followed behind her. The two of them had already dressed up and looked extremely bright. Why are you so angry? Girls are different from you boys. It's troublesome to go out. Please understand. Bo saw Jin Ke sitting there with a sullen face, and came over to help Zhang Mengdai explain a few words. Chapter 266 Alter. Bo came with Zhang Mengdai because he was worried that Zhang Mengdai was timid and afraid of trouble. After being bluffed by Jin Ke, she was taken advantage of by him, and then she didn't dare to speak out, and suffered a loss. Zhang Mengdai, you came to the studio to work. What's the matter with you not logging into the game these 2 days? Jin Ke didn't waste any words and questioned Zhang Mengdai directly. I don't know how to play this game. Zhang Mengdai looked very aggrieved. Don't know? Then why don't you come and ask me? Why don't you ask others how to play? Since you get paid to work, how can you not log into the game and play the game? Do you know that you will be punished by the studio for this? Jin Ke's tone became stern. It was for her good to be so stern. Otherwise she would die in a confused state, and Jin Ke would feel guilty. After I logged into the game, I was not with them. I was alone. The game scene only had 2 floors and a few rooms. I found all the clues I could find. I couldn't go out and couldn't continue. Zhang Mengdai pouted. Not with them? Log into the game and let me see what's going on. Jin Ke frowned. Didn't she log into the Horror City game? Okay. Zhang Mengdai took out her mobile phone, opened the Horror City game and logged in. The login interface and character interface were all normal. It was indeed the Horror City game, but after logging into the game, something was wrong. Everything was as Zhang Mengdai said. She was the only one in the game, and the game scene had only 2 floors. Strictly speaking, it was not 2 floors, but only 1 floor, and then there was a basement. Zhang Mengdai could see outside the window on this floor. It was raining outside the window, and there were lightning and thunder from time to time. When the lightning came on, you could see fountains and rockery in the courtyard outside, and you could also see other houses in the courtyard. The door of the room was locked and needed to verify the palm print. Zhang Mengdai went to verify and was prompted that the authority was insufficient, so he could not go out. The window also had a thick alloy railing, so he could only see outside and could not climb out of the window. There was a metal box next to the door, but it was locked and also required palm print verification to open. This floor is on the ground. Going down the stairs is of course the basement. There are more than 20 energy capsules in the basement, one of which is open. Zhang Mengdai said that she came out of that energy capsule. From the outside, you can't see what is in the other energy capsules. There is a control console next to it, which should be used to control the opening of these energy capsules, but it also needs to verify the palm print to open. There are 3 rooms on the ground floor, and the rooms are all very large. There are sofas and coffee tables in the middle hall. There are several books on the coffee table. Jin Ke flipped through them casually. They are several volumes of a novel describing a space war. The room on the left is the restaurant. There are food stored in the freezer, as well as various kitchen utensils. The room is powered on and can process food by itself. Zhang Mengdai's character has not logged in for 2 days, so the hunger value is very high at this time. Under Jin Ke's instructions, she quickly heated some food for the character to eat, and also gave the character some drinking water. If you don't log in for a few more days, your character in the game will die. If your character in the game dies, it means the studio will terminate the contract with you, and you won't get your daily salary. Understand? Jin Ke scolded Zhang Mengdai. Oh, I won't do that anymore. But what is the purpose of this game? I see other people can train every day, but I'm trapped in this house and can't do anything. Zhang Mengdai was very depressed. Go to the room on the right and see if there are any clues there. Jin couldn't control Zhang Mengdai's character, so he could only instruct her to explore. There is a very strange altar in the room on the right. The console next to it can be used without verification. You can only fill in the name and game ID on it. After I enter her name and game ID number, I can summon her from somewhere else to me. She lies back on the altar and returns to where she is now. Zhang Mengdai was talking about Mint, her roommate. Is there such a thing? Jin Ke felt that this altar seemed a little unusual. I can only summon one person at a time. They have all been summoned by me, but they all failed the palm print verification. After visiting, they couldn't do anything. It was boring. They went back after staying for a few minutes. Zhang Mengdai controlled the character to come to the room on the right, stood next to the strange altar she mentioned, and explained it to Jin Ke. Will you be teleported out from here if you go up to the altar? Jin Ke asked Zhang Mengdai. No. I tried it. As long as they return to the altar, they will be teleported back immediately no matter what posture they are in. But I sit on it, lie on it, and it doesn't work. I seem to be trapped here. Zhang Mengdai shook her head. Have you ever summoned yourself to try? Jin Ke proposed another idea. Oh, you can try this. Zhang Mengdai hurriedly summoned herself at the control console next to the altar. After the summoning, Zhang Mengdai received a reminder on her mobile phone screen. After confirming, her body turned into a ball of black mist and disappeared from the altar and appeared on the altar. She left the altar and climbed up the altar again, but she was teleported back to the place where she disappeared just now. It seems that because she was already here, even if she teleported, she would still return to the place where she was before the teleportation. Jin thought of a wonderful thing about this altar. I wonder if it can be summoned during the battle. For example, if he is surrounded by enemies in the battle and is in a very dangerous situation, wouldn't it be possible to temporarily avoid danger if he lets Zhang Mengdai summon him here? However, Jin Ke thinks it is impossible to succeed. If it succeeds, it will be too buggy. Any game will have a difference between combat status and normal status. This teleportation should not be possible in combat status. In the end, we have to try it ourselves to know. Jin Ke asked Zhang Mengdai to walk around the room on the right again. In addition to the altar that looks like a teleportation device, there is another strange device on the other side of the room, opposite to the altar. This strange equipment seems to have a strong energy supply and is in operation, but there is no control console next to it. There is no response when approaching or standing on it. I don't know what it is used for. There are no other useful clues. Is there anything special about this cute girl? Why is her birthplace when she enters the game different from that of other employees? I've been wandering around these rooms for 2 days and I really don't know what else to do. You didn't seem to want to bother with us, so I didn't ask you. Zhang Mengdai explained to Jin Ke why she had not been online for the past 2 days. Chapter 267 Fireball. It's not that I don't care about you, I'm just busy these 2 days. How about this, you go back to your room first, and in 5 minutes, I'll teleport my character to you to help you find out what's going on. Jin told Zhang Mengdai his character name and game ID. Okay, Zhang Mengdai nodded. Even if you have nothing to do, you have to log into the game and operate it occasionally. This is your job. If you don't log into the game and operate it all the time, the consequences will be very serious, understand? Jin Ke threatened Zhang Mengdai a few more times. Okay, Zhang Mengdai made a face at Jin Ke, and then took Bo He away together. After Zhang Mengdai and Bo He left, Jin closed the door and returned to his bedroom, and chose the game cabin operation mode. This is why he asked Zhang Mengdai and Bo He to go back to the room. There must be something strange about the house where Zhang Mengdai is, and the yard outside. There may be very hidden mechanisms in the house. It is difficult for ordinary characters to find them by operating mobile phones, but if he uses the game cabin to operate, he may be able to find these hidden mechanisms and clues, just like the last time he heard the faint sound of water in the cave of the mountain. In addition, Zhang Mengdai and the others had just entered the game and had not yet changed their jobs or awakened their skills. Jin had the ability to move, so he might be able to move directly to the courtyard and other houses outside to find clues. Soon after Jin entered the energy cabin and logged into the game world, he received a prompt message that he was summoned by Zhang Mengdai. After Jin confirmed that the 2 energy restrictions in the dormitory that he had reset the password, iris, and palm print verification permissions were opened, he agreed to Zhang Mengdai's summons, and then his body turned into a ball of black mist and disappeared from the spot. The next moment, Jin appeared on the altar in front of Zhang Mengdai. He did not bring any props, equipment, or weapons with him. He just teleported here. Of course, there were also his underwear. This place is really weird. Players are not allowed to bring anything except underwear. It's good enough to bring underwear here. If you teleport here naked, the scene will be too discordant. Wow, the leader is here? Zhang Mengdai welcomed Jin Ke. Although the characters of these players who did not use the game cabin were controlled by mobile phones, these characters themselves would have various actions and expressions to modify, so in the eyes of Jin Ke and other NPCs, the actions of these players did not seem stiff. Jin Ke ignored Zhang Mengdai. After coming over, he first went to the gate to try to verify the palm print, and failed without a doubt. Next, he tried the death charge skill, trying to force through the wall and go to the yard outside. In the end, it also failed. The whole house was protected by an energy ban, prohibiting the skill from crossing. It seems that there is only one way to do it. Jin carefully checked every inch of the wall, listened carefully to the faint movements coming from the wall, carefully checked every piece of furniture, and carefully searched for extremely hidden mechanisms that might be hidden on the floor. Unfortunately, nothing was found. No wonder Zhang Mengdai gave up after playing for a day. It really couldn't be played like this. After an intensive search, Jin Ke sat on the sofa with a little tiredness, reached out and grabbed a few books on the coffee table and flipped through them. In addition to a few books, there were also pens and paper on the coffee table. The books were several volumes of a whole novel, describing the cosmic war, a total of 4 books, adding up to at least 1,000,000 words. If you read them all quickly, it will take at least 2 or 3 days. If you look for clues carefully, the task will be very arduous, and it is estimated that it may not be completed in a week. Jin Ke flipped through the beginning, and then found the last book and flipped through the end. Surprisingly, Jin Ke found that there were several paragraphs attached to the end of the novel, and these paragraphs were all written in runes. Jin Ke now knows more than 2,000 runes, and they are commonly used runes. Reading these paragraphs is like a student who didn't learn Chinese well in elementary school reading an online novel. He half read and half guessed, but he guessed the general idea. In other words, this novel is not a real novel, but a method of practicing fireball magic. Fireball magic? Are you kidding me? Shouldn't this skill be awakened by the mage profession after changing jobs and in subsequent training and battles? Why can it be practiced separately? Does this mean that as long as you find the chapter related to fireball, you can research the skill of fireball by yourself, without having to rely on training and luck to awaken it in battle? Although Jin Ke is now a part-time mage, he feels that he is not a mage in the traditional sense. Jin Ke, who has played many games, feels that a mage who can't cast fireball is not a real mage. Jin Ke, who originally came to help Zhang Mengdai look around and solve puzzles, now has the idea of staying to study it carefully. It's just reading novels takes too much time. Looking at Zhang Mengdai, who seemed to be standing next to him without anyone operating, Jin called out to her. "Is there anything wrong with the leader?" Zhang Mengdai asked Jin quickly. It seemed that she was still holding her mobile phone and paying attention to the screen of the mobile phone. She didn't dare to leave just like that. "If you want to open the door of this room, the key lies in these 4 books. You take 2 books, I take 2 books, and quickly browse these books. If you find that fireball is mentioned in them, fold the corresponding page or write the page number on this paper. I will combine these clues together at that time." "Okay." Zhang Mengdai had a puzzled expression on her face. Since the leader had thought of a solution, she had better follow the leader's order. Otherwise, she would not be able to cry if she lost her daily salary of 300 yuan. Next, Jin Ke and Zhang Mengdai flipped through the books together. They quickly flipped through the content of the cosmic war in the novel and only looked for the content about fireball. "Leader, can I go to bed?" Zhang Mengdai yawned and asked Jin Ke in front of the phone. "Sleep. Sleep? Oh, it's midnight. Go to bed. Continue to help me read the novel after you get up tomorrow." Jin Ke nodded. He was so excited just now that he forgot the time. He should go to bed, otherwise he would not have enough energy to get up tomorrow. After exiting the game cabin and looking at Xue'er, who was sleeping soundly in the crib next to him, Jin Ke walked quietly to the bathroom to wash up, and then went back to bed to sleep. At 7 o'clock the next morning, after Jin Ke woke up, Luo Ye came in and helped him make milk powder and change diapers for Xue'er. Jin Ke went downstairs and came to the restaurant on the first floor. 15 beauties in the restaurant were chattering while eating, and then they all looked at Jin Ke, who walked into the restaurant. The storm of information fragments caused by female hormones came in his face, just like the darkness of the night, making Jin Ke feel more stressed. Chapter 268 Practicality. "Good morning, leader. Please sit over here. Can I go to your room to see Xue'er? Don't look so cold all the time, it's not cool. Can I help you with your hairdo? If you don't want to eat in the restaurant, I can deliver meals to your room. When will you come to our room to teach us how to play games? Why are you so afraid of us? We won't eat you. Spring is here. Can you organize a spring outing for us, leader?" Ever since Jin Ke angrily said that he didn't like them calling him Ake, they all changed their names to call him leader. Although they changed their names to call him leader, Jin Ke felt that the atmosphere was not serious at all. He couldn't treat them like the security guards in the game world. It was a headache. Jin Ke felt that he must have accidentally offended a senior executive in the studio, so he was punished like this. Game world, mysterious castle. After a morning of hard work, Zhang Mengdai helped Jin Ke find 5 places related to the fireball technique, and Jin Ke himself found 7 places related to the fireball technique. After connecting all the contents about the fireball technique in the novel, Jin Ke couldn't help but be very excited. This is really a spell that uses rune magic to condense an energy fireball by itself. It doesn't need to rely on luck to awaken. According to the book, as long as you practice diligently, you can learn it. The general method is to use the energy veins in the body to draw energy runes, condense energy runes and suspend them in front of you. A total of 18 energy runes need to be condensed. When all the 18 energy runes are condensed, they are arranged into a ball array in a fixed order, and then a set pose is made and a spell that you have set is recited. They will gather together due to some mechanism to form a powerful fireball and launch it. This fireball is a locked attack method, and the attack distance is super long. It will not dissipate until it flies 180 meters. After being launched, the fireball will accurately hit the target locked in the mind like an automatic tracking missile, and cause powerful range splash damage after the explosion. According to the author of this novel's speculation, if other runes are combined in a certain way, they should also be able to achieve other spell effects, but until the end of the novel, he only provided the combination of 18 runes for the fireball spell, and did not find the rune combination method for other spells. Jin Ke tried to guide the energy in his body to run in the meridians in his mind, and began to condense the first energy rune of the fireball spell. Unexpectedly, condensing this kind of energy rune actually consumes energy points, and the consumption is very large. Not very much, but the consumption is very large. Jin Ke followed the method in the novel and completed all the steps to condense the first rune. As a result, he failed to successfully condense the first energy rune, but consumed more than 560 energy points. Damn, how do I play this? It takes more than 560 energy points to condense a rune. Wouldn't it be more than 10,000 energy points for 18 runes? What's the point of this in actual combat? Jin Ke was a little depressed. He spent a night and a morning here, but got nothing. Could it be that after becoming proficient, I can consume less energy points? Jin Ke guessed. The most terrible thing is that more than 560 energy points have basically exhausted his full energy point reserves. Even if he wants to continue practicing, it's not possible. If he can't practice, what's the point of finding the secret book of Fireball here? Jin Ke suddenly remembered the device opposite the altar in the room on the right. He hurried over and stood in the device opposite the altar. The number of energy points consumed in his body was instantly replenished, just like the healing spring behind the tour base, because it is instantly replenished. As long as you stand in it, your health and energy points will always be full. Damn, free energy points, and they can be used unlimitedly. Jin couldn't help but get excited. He quickly poured these energy points into his skills. As a result, he poured in more than 30 points and couldn't pour in any more. These 30 or so energy points seemed to be the ones he brought with him and hadn't used up just now. The energy points that the equipment filled up for him could not be added to the skills to upgrade the skills. Is it some kind of simulation device? The energy points replenished here can only be used to condense energy runes to train the fireball technique, but can't be used for other purposes? Jin Ke speculated. After various tests, it turned out that these energy points can only be used to condense the runes required for the fireball technique. Since these energy points are free, there is no pity to waste them. Jin Ke immediately began to try to use the energy meridians in his body to condense the first rune required for the fireball technique. After several failed attempts, the plugin automatically turned on and asked Jin Ke if he wanted the plugin to help him perform these training operations. Jin Ke agreed of course, so the plugin began to help Jin condense the first rune. The plugin's operation is always more precise than Jin Ke's. When using a special method to operate the energy circuit to condense the rune, the control of energy and the operation of the meridian path are all just right. However, the first time, The plugin did not succeed. Jin Ke did not give up and continued to let the plugin help him condense the energy rune. After more than a dozen times, the plugin finally helped Jin Ke successfully condense the first energy rune of the fireball technique. This successful energy rune also consumed more than 560 energy points and turned into a stable glowing energy rune suspended in front of Jin Ke. Then the plugin began to help Jin Ke condense the second energy rune of the fireball technique. After more than a dozen failures, which also consumed more than 500 energy points, the plugin successfully condensed the second energy rune. However, the first energy rune dissipated more than 10 seconds after it was condensed. But there is good news. After the plugin successfully condensed the first rune, it also succeeded in condensing the first rune again. This means that as long as Jin Ke succeeds and masters the method of condensing the 18 runes, and then condenses them all and arranges them in order within 10 seconds, he can successfully condense a fireball. The difficulty is quite high, but since the energy rune can be condensed successfully, it means that the fireball technique in the novel is feasible. Although it feels that the fireball technique, which consumes so much energy, is not very practical in battle, Jin Ke decided to study it thoroughly since he discovered this secret. In his opinion, after mastering the fireball technique, it should not consume so many energy points. After mastering the condensation of 18 runes, it can also be completed quickly, and then it will have a certain degree of practicality. Moreover, it is conceivable how powerful the fireball is that consumes more than 10,000 energy points to condense. Chapter 269 Success. After more than a dozen failures, the third energy rune was condensed by the plugin. After more than a dozen failures, the fourth energy rune was condensed by the plugin. The fifth, the sixth. After more than a dozen failures, finally, the 18th rune was condensed by the plugin. After all 18 energy runes were successfully condensed, Jin Ke repeated the condensation process, trying to condense the other 17 energy runes within a dozen seconds, that is, before the first energy rune condensed and dissipated. As a result, the speed of condensing runes was too slow, and the second energy rune consumed Jin Ke's 7 or 8 seconds. After the third energy rune condensed, the first energy rune was already shaky, and the fourth energy rune had not yet begun to condense, and the first energy rune dissipated. It seems that it is necessary to continue to master the condensation of each rune and control the time to condense a rune within 1 second. 2 days have passed. During these 2 days, Zhang Mengdai has been standing there, feeling awe-inspiring, quietly watching the various runes flying around Jin Ke, pretending to be powerful invisibly. Finally, with the help of the plug-in, Jin condensed all 18 energy runes in 10 seconds. After all 18 energy runes were condensed, Jin manipulated them with his mind and stirred them up and down according to the requirements of the novel. Within a few seconds, he arranged the 18 energy runes into a spherical array. So cool! Zhang Mengdai looked at Jin with envy. Jin's movements just now were like the heroes in the martial arts movies of the 1980s. Just before they were about to use their ultimate moves. After the 18 energy runes were arranged into a spherical array, all the runes emitted flames with a bang sound, and they were about to form a fireball. At the same time, the system required Jin to set a unique spell key and a special action key. Every time he recited this spell and performed this action, he could launch a fireball. After Jin set the spell key and action key, the 18 runes arranged into a spherical array dissipated in all directions with a puff sound, and the system also gave a prompt that the fireball spell failed to condense. Failure doesn't matter, it doesn't consume energy points anyway. Try again. After the plugin successfully condensed 18 energy runes in 10 seconds and arranged them into a spherical array, it seemed that he had completely mastered the key points of the fireball technique. It took less than 9 seconds for all 18 runes to be condensed the second time. Jin followed the requirements of the novel, controlled them with his mind, stirred them up and down with his hands, and arranged them into a spherical array. The 18 runes arranged in the spherical array began to emit a faint glow of fire. Jin posed with his hands and muttered something. Puff. Failed again. Zhang Mengdai's character looked very bored. but occasionally walked around to show that he was not lazy and was still playing the game according to the studio's requirements. Jin Ke began a long process of training with the plugin to help condense runes and fireballs. After the plugin helped Jin condense energy runes many times, Jin Ke's character's body seemed to have a memory of how to condense energy runes. Later, the plugin condensed energy runes faster and faster. Almost as soon as he thought about it, an energy rune appeared next to him out of thin air. At the beginning, it took him more than 10 seconds to condense a rune. After such a long period of training, he could condense 3 or 4 runes in 1 second. This kind of training is not only physically exhausting, but also a huge consumption of energy. Another day passed, and with the help of the plug-in, Jin Ke's speed of condensing runes reached the limit. He could successfully condense 18 energy runes in 2.5 seconds. However, the fireball array was still unsuccessful, and the fireball had not yet taken shape. Zhang Mengdai, who was bored in the game, saw Jin Ke standing under the charging device opposite the altar, muttering something, and 18 energy runes appeared in front of him one by one and then arranged in a spherical array. Then he shouted loudly and pushed his hands forward as if he wanted to cast a spell, but in the end, there was a poof, sound like a fart, and nothing happened. Jin Ke didn't know how many times he had tried it, at least thousands of times, or tens of thousands of times. He himself couldn't remember clearly. Within 2.5 seconds, the 18 runes were condensed again, and in 0.5 seconds they were arranged in a spherical array. All the runes began to emit flames, but this time was different from the tens or thousands of times before. The spherical rune array quickly formed a scorching fireball slightly larger than a basketball, like a small sun. It was obvious that the fireball had been condensed successfully. If it weren't for the rune array that limited the heat and power of the fireball, Jin Ke and Zhang Mengdai would probably be scorched by the little sun. Hadujin. After a spell, Jin Ke pushed his hands forward, and a scorching fireball slightly larger than a basketball flew out in the direction of the door, quickly rushed through the middle hall, crashed into the restaurant room on the left, and finally hit a wall that was blessed with energy restrictions. With a loud bang, the energy light splashed and then disappeared. Wow, so cool. Zhang Mengdai, who had not spoken for a long time, spoke again and clapped a few times. It seemed that she was really working very seriously and conscientiously. When the leader fails to show off, he keeps silent. But when the leader succeeds, he quickly applauds. I succeeded. Jin Ke was also very happy to see this scene. He turned off the plugin and tried to condense the energy runes by himself. After the plugin formed a certain memory in the character's body, Jin Ke's self-condensation of runes became extremely smooth, as if he had practiced it tens of thousands of times. Soon, he successfully condensed 18 runes in front of him. Unfortunately, when condensing the fireball, he failed again. But Jin Ke now has confidence. He knows that everything about the fireball technique in the novel is indeed real and effective. His hard work in the past few days has not been in vain. As long as he continues to train, his fireball technique should become more and more proficient, and the success rate will be higher and higher, until the success rate is 100%. Of course, if the success rate does not reach 100%, Jin Ke dare not use it in actual combat. What makes Jin Ke extremely headache is that this fireball technique consumes a lot of energy points. Another point is that the condensed runes will automatically disappear if they are not arranged in a spherical array after more than 10 seconds, and after the arranged spherical array becomes a fireball, it can only hover around for a few seconds. If it is not launched in time, it may even injure itself. Jin guessed that he must have mastered this extremely powerful fireball spell beyond his level, so he was unable to use it in actual combat. Chapter 273 Seconds. Only when the basic attributes of spells are increased or the energy cultivation realm is upgraded by several levels, and the upper limit of energy point storage reaches more than 10,000, can the fireball be used in actual combat. When the basic attributes of spells are getting higher and higher in the future, the energy realm is getting higher and higher, and the upper limit of energy points reaches more than 100,000, can fireballs be continuously released in actual combat. Jin cannot estimate the damage value of the fireball now, but the skill that consumes 10,000 energy points to release, You can imagine that the lethality will not be too low. You must know that the skills he releases now that consume a few energy points can hit hundreds of damage values. In order to allow himself to release the fireball skill 100% successfully in actual combat, Jin Ke began to train the proficiency of the fireball skill, and did not use any plugins, all by himself. After nearly 10,000 times of hard training, Jin Ke was finally able to release the fireball skill 100% successfully. The average time is 3 seconds. It was almost when the key of Hadouken and the 2 hands pushed forward was completed, and the 18 energy runes were also condensed and arranged, and then the fireball flew out of his hand. If you recite the spell key in advance, it won't delay the time of launching the fireball at all. Leader, how do you play this fireball? Can you teach me? Zhang Mengdai asked Jin Ke with envy. What is the upper limit of energy points in your account? Jin Ke asked Zhang Mengdai. According to Jin Ke's estimation, Zhang Mengdai is probably not able to learn this fireball technique. You should know that it takes at least 560 energy points to condense a rune. Then, to practice the fireball technique, the entry requirement is at least 570 energy points. Otherwise, there is no point in practicing it. For a newcomer like this, the upper limit of energy points is at most between 100 and 150. Let me see. 812. Zhang Mengdai answered Jin Ke. 812? Are you sure you are not mistaken? Jin Ke was shocked. Why don't you come and look at my phone screen? Zhang Mengdai said in a strange tone. Is this a very big deal? No need. Tell me, what are your basic attributes of intelligence and induction? Jin Ke asked Zhang Mengdai again. Although the studio does not allow employees to ask each other about each other's basic attributes and other information, there are no specific punishment measures in this regard. In the past, in the 16 villas of the Blue Home community, employees privately learned this information from each other without being punished by the studio. So at this time Jin Ke directly asked Zhang Mengdai, my intelligence is 26.22, and my induction is 43.35. Zhang Mengdai answered Jin Ke, intelligence 26.22? Are you sure you are so smart? Jin Ke was shocked. Do you think I'm stupid? Zhang Mengdai squatted in the corner of the bed and drew circles. Okay, I roughly know why you are here. Well, I will teach you how to practice fireball, but if you can't learn it, it's your own business. I don't have much time to teach you. Jin Ke was speechless after hearing the basic attributes reported by Zhang Mengdai. He thought that his intelligence of 12.57 and sensory of 19.94 were already very strong, but compared with the newcomer Zhang Mengdai, they were nothing. One has to admit that there are indeed geniuses in this world. As soon as they enter the game, their basic attributes are much higher than others. When Jin Ke first entered the game to create a character, the total of his 10 attributes was only 100 points, which was just an ordinary person. But someone like Zhang Mengdai is definitely not an ordinary person. She is a natural-born mage, and her identity is also quite special, so her birth point is not together with other players. Zhang Mengdai is the first player Jin Ke randomly recruited, but now Jin Ke does not think this is random at all. Her rival seems to have been arranged in advance. In the dark, there is a big hand manipulating everything behind the scenes. Okay, Zhang Mengdai was very happy when Jin Ke said that he would teach her the fireball technique. First, you stand here in charge at any time, and then you need to use your mind to control the energy in your body to condense this rune in front of you. Jin Ke passed on some of his experience in condensing the rune to Zhang Mengdai. However, he did not think that Zhang Mengdai could succeed. You have to know that he had the first level of energy cultivation and had practiced energy for a long time. Running energy in the body's meridians is not something that everyone can easily learn. Is that it? After Zhang Mengdai operated, the first rune of the fireball appeared in front of him. You succeeded on the first try? Jin Ke's eyes widened. When Zhang Shidao saw him awaken the rune carving skill in just 2 hours, he must have felt the same way. Right? Is there something wrong? Zhang Mengdai said in a confused tone. Nothing is wrong. How did you operate all this on your phone? Jin Ke thought of a very important question. Running the body's energy meridians on a mobile phone to condense energy runes is not an easy task, and it involves a lot of operations. Didn't you say, use your mind? That's not right. How can this game be operated by mind? Zhang Mengdai seemed to have suddenly realized something and was very surprised. Is Mint with you? Jin Ke asked Zhang Mengdai. She went out shopping, and she asked me to go with her. I was embarrassed to ask for leave from you. Zhang Mengdai answered Jin Ke. Are you the only one in the room? Jin confirmed with Zhang Mengdai again. What do you want to do? Zhang Mengdai said in a very alert tone. What can I do? I have a wife and a daughter. What would I do to you? Jin Ke looked unhappy. Then why did you recruit so many girls? Zhang Mengdai was still very suspicious. These are all recruited by the studio, and have nothing to do with me. Jin Ke felt like he was being used as a scapegoat again. Oh, Zhang Mengdai said in a half-believing and half-doubting tone. I asked you just now if there was only one person in the room because I wanted to tell you that this game is indeed beyond your imagination. Mind control is not a very strange thing, but you just need to know it yourself, and there is no need to mention it to others. Understand? If you don't listen to me, I will no longer tutor you individually in the future, and I will not help you continue to conquer this castle, leaving you alone here bored to death. Jin Ke threatened Zhang Mengdai a few words. As long as your salary is not deducted, Zhang Mengdai muttered. If you don't listen to me, I will deduct your salary. Jin Ke added quickly. Why did I say that? Zhang Mengdai said with regret. Stop talking nonsense. Let's start the condensation of the second rune. Jin Ke returned to the topic. Zhang Mengdai followed Jin Ke's instructions and condensed the second rune, then the third, the fourth. If you're listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means they downloaded and uploaded it without effort. We cordially invite you to visit our channel, Mundo Fanfic Novelist. There you'll find the original version of this story and you can explore many other novels of various genres. We're waiting for you to immerse yourself in a world of incredible novels. Chapter 271 Abduction. After trying several times, Zhang Mengdai was able to condense 18 energy runes in about 2.5 seconds. Jin Ke felt that his face must be very ugly at this time. You arrange these 18 runes in the order of my diagram, and then set a spell key and an action key. Jin continued to instruct Zhang Mengdai. Any spell or action will do. Yes, Didi Mengman. After Zhang Mengdai condensed 18 runes, he shouted softly and waved his hands. The 18 runes in front of him were arranged into a spherical array and ignited a large fireball, which shot away into the distance. With a bang, it hit the energy restriction on the opposite wall, and the energy light splashed. It's so simple, Zhang Mengdai said happily. Jin Ke felt his face getting very hot, especially in front of Zhang Mengdai. He pretended to be cool for several days, and always felt that his training action of condensing energy runes was very cool and handsome. And then he was extremely proud of himself for being able to successfully send out a fireball so quickly. Boss, a line of prompts appeared on my phone screen. Zhang Mengdai said to Jin Ke. What prompts? It prompts that I have passed the first step of the assessment and can open the door to go out. It also suggests that I equip the staff, robes and other things in the treasure chest next to the door before going out. Zhang Mengdai answered Jin Ke. Oh, it seems that the key to your leaving this room is indeed this fireball spell. As long as you successfully send out a fireball, you will pass the first step of the assessment. Now you can go to the door and try your palm print again. Maybe you have the permission to open it. Jin Ke nodded to Zhang Mengdai. Okay. Zhang Mengdai happily returned to the middle room and came to the door. According to the prompt given by the system, she did not try to open the door, but stretched out her hand and pressed on the palm print verification screen above the metal box. Didi Mengmengda, welcome back. An electronic sound rang, and the metal box, which had not responded to the palms of Zhang Mengdai and the others she summoned, opened automatically with a click. Why does it also say Didi Mengmengda? Zhang Mengdai asked in a confused tone. You ask me, who should I ask? Jin Ke took advantage of Zhang Mengdai standing there in a daze to open the metal box and fish out the mage equipment inside. A complete set of mage equipment with black mist lingering all over the body. There are staffs, robes, and various accessories. The staff has a matching storage ring, and the robe also has a matching storage bracelet. Is it equipment of higher quality than orange equipment, black equipment, divine equipment? As soon as the black mist lingering on it is seen, it is known that it is not ordinary. Damn, I made a fortune. Jin Ke immediately wanted to take these equipment for himself. As for the cute girl, since she is so easy to deceive, just give her some other benefits to compensate. Anyway, it would be a waste for her to have such good equipment. When Jin Ke tried to equip these orange equipment staffs, robes, and accessories, he received a system prompt. He said that he could not equip them, because this is sole exclusive equipment and has been bound by someone else. This kind of sole exclusive equipment cannot be used by others even if the owner is killed. When Zhang Mengdai picked up these staffs, robes, and accessories, she did not receive any prompts. She quickly equipped the staffs, robes, and accessories on her character. These equipments surrounded by black fog are indeed not simple, and the way to equip them is also different from ordinary equipment. When Zhang Mengdai reached out to them, the staffs, robes, and accessories all turned into a pile of black runes and floated around her. They condensed into staffs in her hands, and robes and accessories condensed on her body. All the equipment processes were completed in an instant. Sure enough, good equipment is different. Jin Ke thought that he would have to find such a black outfit in the future. This kind of black outfit that can be equipped quickly can just make up for his troubles that he can't change his outfit quickly in battle. However, it is conceivable that this kind of black outfit is definitely not so easy to get. It is likely to be the top equipment in the game Horror City, or even hidden equipment. At least Jin Ke had never heard of the term black outfit before. After putting on these equipment, my energy point limit has reached 150,000. Zhang Mengdai was very excited and delighted. How much? Jin Ke thought he had misheard. 150,000. Zhang Mengdai answered Jin Ke again. Jin Ke almost understood that Zhang Mengdai's birthplace seemed to be specially prepared for her, or tailor-made, including the whole set of divine equipment in this treasure chest. Only she can wear it. If his guess is correct, Jin Ke speculated that all palm print verifications can be passed after Zhang Mengdai learns the fireball technique. Even if Jin Ke has learned the fireball technique now, the palm print verification still cannot pass. Jin Ke walked to the control console by the door and tried it. He guessed correctly. After putting his palm on it, it still showed that he had no authority. Zhang Mengdai walked over and tried it, and the result was, the door of the room was opened. There was lightning and thunder outside, and heavy rain was pouring. It looked so scary. Zhang Mengdai controlled the character to walk to the door and looked out. Jin Ke looked at Zhang Mengdai's back and made some speculations. This cute girl should be a very important figure in the game world, and she has many secrets. The studio randomly sent her to his studio branch for a reason. Why not take advantage of her before she understands what this game is all about and take the initiative? Moreover, her roommate Bo He, her very cautious cousin, is not here, so this is a good opportunity to abduct her. Zhang Mengdai, do you want to become stronger in the game as soon as possible? Do you want to get a higher position and a higher salary in the studio? Jin Ke asked Zhang Mengdai a few questions. Higher salary? Okay. Zhang Mengdai turned around immediately when she heard the word salary. You know, salary means more and better snacks, more and better looking clothes, and nothing is more interesting to her than salary. There is a master-apprentice system in this game, just like in Honor of Kings. I just want to do the master mission. Why don't you become my master? If you become my apprentice, you can also do the apprentice mission with higher rewards. Of course, only if you become my master. I will do my best to teach you how to play this game, so that you can improve your strength as soon as possible and get a higher salary from the studio. Jin Ke felt like a weird uncle who was using candy to deceive young and ignorant little girls. Okay, where is the apprentice system? Zhang Mengdai agreed immediately after hearing it. Chapter 272, No Way Back. The apprenticeship system of this game is different from other games. You need to sign a master-apprentice contract. While Jin Ke was deceiving Zhang Mengdai, he quickly drew up a contract with a white paper and pen he found on the coffee table. The content of the contract was very simple. Zhang Mengdai took Jin Ke as her master, and then, the apprentice must absolutely obey the master's instructions in the game world. Under equal conditions, the master will do his best to improve the apprentice's strength so that the apprentice can get a higher salary in the studio. While Zhang Mengdai was reading the contract, Jin Ke went to the kitchen on the left to find a pointed table knife to cut his finger to sign the contract. The contract dripped with blood seemed to have a higher priority. Nothing to see. The master-apprentice contract is like this. You use this knife to cut the character's finger and press a blood fingerprint on the contract. Jin Ke came over and urged Zhang Mengdai a few words. Okay. Zhang Mengdai didn't know it was a trick. Of course, she didn't understand the game now. She just played the game as a job and didn't think much about it when facing this contract. Moreover, the contract only said that one must absolutely obey the master's orders in the game world, but did not say that one must absolutely obey the master's orders in the real world. Jin Ke was secretly happy. As long as Zhang Mengdai signed the contract, she would have to obey his orders in the future. As long as he could find a way to get her out of the castle, he would have a very powerful helper in the game world. Wait a minute, Zhang Mengdai said to Jin Ke without signing the contract. What's the matter? Sign the contract first. Jin Ke ordered Zhang Mengdai. Sister Bo is back. She forgot to bring her room key. I locked the door and went to open it for her. Zhang Mengdai explained to Jin Ke. Stop, don't open the door. After I accept you as my apprentice, I will pay you 50 days salary every day. If other employees know about it, they will think it is unfair. I can't pay you the extra 50 days salary. You have to think it through. When Jin Ke heard that Bo was back, he hurriedly urged Zhang Mengdai again. Bo is obviously not as easy to fool as the cute girl. When she comes back and reads the contract, there might be more unnecessary arguments. Okay, I'll sign it right away. Zhang Mengdai hurriedly controlled her character to sign the contract when she heard that she could get an extra 50 yuan salary every day. Although the process of cutting fingers and pressing handprints is complicated, mobile phone players only need to touch the contract with their fingers and confirm to sign the contract in the pop-up dialog box. The characters in the game will automatically complete the rest. After seeing Zhang Mengdai sign the contract, Jin Ke breathed a sigh of relief, and quickly pierced his finger with a dinner knife and pressed a bloody handprint on the contract. The system prompts that the contract is effective. You can go open the door, but remember, we must not tell anyone about the fact that we signed the master-apprentice contract and increased your daily salary. Once others know about it, we can't pay you more daily salary. Jin Ke gave Zhang Mengdai a few more instructions. Okay, don't tell anyone. I'll go open the door. Go ahead, master. What should we do next? After a while, Zhang Mengdai obviously opened the door and came back, asking Jin Ke. Jin Ke guessed that Bo had returned to her room. He was a little depressed when he heard Zhang Mengdai calling master. This cute girl was a little stupid. Just now, I told her not to reveal the master-disciple contract. Forget it. The contract has been signed anyway, and even if Bo knew about it, it would be powerless to change the situation. Jin Ke felt that he might have worried too much. After all, for them, this was just an ordinary game. Normal people would not take signing a contract or becoming a disciple in the game seriously. Without knowing the truth of this game, they would not be able to associate so much for the time being. Next, of course, we will explore the outside world and see if there is anything strange here. Jin Ke walked to the door and looked at the heavy rain outside. Okay, Zhang Mengdai also walked to the door. In the heavy rain, there was a faint howl like a wounded beast, which sounded very creepy. At this moment, an email from the studio popped up in Jin Ke's vision, reminding him that the top management of the base was looking for him. The draw ceremony for the tour was over, and the elite group was preparing to conduct pre-match training, so that Jin Ke could return to the team as soon as possible. You'd better close the door and don't go out for the time being. Continue to practice fireball in the room for the next 2 days. If you have nothing to do, take a closer look at those novels to see if there are any valuable money. When I finish the things at hand, I will go out for adventure with you. Jin Ke thought for a while and told Zhang Mengdai a few words. Okay, listen to the master. Zhang Mengdai was obedient and did whatever Jin Ke said. Of course, this is only in the game world. In the real world, cute girls are very vigilant and will not easily let their leaders take advantage of them. Half an hour ago. 1 week after the 16-8 match, the 8-4 match will start tomorrow morning. The draw ceremony will be held the day before the game to allocate how the 8 teams will play against each other. The draw will be conducted in the Green Plains shelter. but it will be broadcast live to all bases. When the draw began, almost everyone in the base stopped their work and gathered in a nearby place where they could watch the live broadcast, waiting for the result of the draw with great excitement. Although the top 8 depends mainly on strength, there is also a lot of luck. If you can draw a weaker opponent, tomorrow's game will be easier. But if you draw a strong opponent, such as the champion of last quarter, the Menglongton Metal Smelting Base, or the runner-up Yuliuan Sanatorium Base, then just wait to be eliminated. The Yuliuan Sanatorium Base is located between the Green Plains Shelter and the Qingtashan Base. The local environment is considered good in the post-disaster game world. The initial purpose of the shelter to establish the Yuliuan Base was to provide a place for the shelter's top leaders to vacation and relax, and later it gradually developed into a comprehensive base. Because of its close relationship with the shelter's top leaders, the Yuliuan base has a unique advantage and has developed rapidly. Several high-level warriors in the base are of high level. After the tour began, it has firmly occupied the championship throne for several years. The Menglongton base was built in a mine. There is a small lake in the center of the mine. It is shaped like a dragon with bared fangs and claws, so it is named Menglongton. The name of the Menglongton base comes from this small lake in the mountain. The mine where the Menglongton base is located has a large amount of metal mineral resources. The original purpose of the establishment of the Menglongton base was to provide various smelted metal materials for the shelter. Chapter 273, Rise of a New Force. With the development of various bases, Menglongton base, like other bases, has become a comprehensive base focusing on mineral collection and metal smelting, while also developing industries such as agriculture and animal husbandry. In the third quarter of last year, Menglongton base emerged as a dark horse, defeated the original overlord Yuliuan base, and won the first place in the tour. In the fourth quarter of last year, it lost to Yuliuan base and won the runner-up. But in the first quarter of this year, Menglongton base won the season championship again. Menglongton base has the second-ranked assassin Zhang Jun in the entire shelter, the third-ranked warrior Zhao Long in the entire shelter, the fifth-ranked shooter Wu Kaiheng in the entire shelter, the fourth-ranked mage Chen Lu in the entire shelter, and the top 10 tank Yi Biao. Assassin Zhang Jun is also the captain of Menglongton base. Menglongton base has extremely strong comprehensive strength. But before the sudden rise of the Menglongton base, the old powerhouse Yuliuan Sanatorium base had always firmly controlled the championship of the tour. In the past 3 quarters, it has not declined. It has only won and lost against the sudden rise of the Menglongton base. Every time the champion and runner-up clashes, the battle is hard to be resolved, lasting more than 3 hours. Even the winning side can only be said to have narrowly won. The comprehensive strength of these two teams can be said to have opened up a level with other participating teams. No matter which participating team is unlucky enough to encounter the Menglongton base or the Yuliuan base in the draw, it means being eliminated and ending this quarter's tour in advance. Now, 4 of the 8 teams have drawn their opponents. Yuliuan base, one of the seeded players, appeared in the upper half and has been drawn out. Their opponent Henkang Biopharmaceutical base is in mourning. Now, Shenlixium, the supreme leader of the Green Plains shelter, is drawing 4 teams in the lower half. Draw 1 team first, and then draw another team to play against the first drawn team. The remaining 2 teams did not need to draw again, and they were automatically paired. The first team to be drawn in the lower half is Qingtai Mountain Newcomer Training Base. Shenlixium, the supreme leader of the shelter, showed everyone the results of the draw. It's us. Don't run into Menglongton. There is only a 1/3 chance of running into Menglongton. Our luck won't be that bad. As long as we can get into the top 4, we will complete the mission, and a 1/3 chance is also quite high. If we run into Menglongton, we will be finished. We will definitely not be in the top 4. The middle and senior leaders of Qingtai Mountain Base and the grassroots employees who are very concerned about the development of Qingtai Mountain Base prayed silently in their hearts. The second team to be drawn in the lower half is the champion Menglongton Metal Smelting Base of the last quarter. Shenlixium, the supreme leader of the shelter, showed everyone the results of the draw. Fuck. Fan Wenji slammed his fist on the table in front of him. "It's over." Ran Maqian shook his head. Yao Chengzu and Li Jing looked at each other, and their expressions were also somewhat helpless. "What you fear is really what will come true." In the first 2 quarters, when the Qingtai Mountain base was in the top 8 of the 16th and the top 4 of the 8th, it was lucky to avoid the Menglongtan base and the Yuliuan base, and only then did it luckily make it into the top 4 twice. In the first 2 quarters, when the top 2 of the 4th, the opponent of the Qingtai Mountain base was the Menglongtan base, which led to the Qingtai Mountain base being blocked from the finals twice. However, the 5 elites of the Qingtai Mountain base did not feel regretful because the 2 games lost to the Menglongtan base in the first 2 quarters were one-sided defeats. The Menglongtan base's full-court pressing style of play did not give the Qingtai Mountain base any chance. In both games, the Qingtai Mountain base could not last more than half an hour and was forcibly pushed away by the Menglongtan base. The difference in strength is too great. When the top 2 of the 4th, because the Yuliuan base and the Menglongtan base are both seeded players, the Qingtai Mountain base will encounter the Menglongtan base if it does not encounter the Yuliuan base, and the situation is the same. The strength of Yuliuan base and Menglongtan base is much higher than that of other bases. One guards the upper half and the other guards the lower half. There is no way that the champion and runner-up will fall to others. Therefore, Fan Wenji's goal has always been the top 4. As long as he can enter the top 4, he will be satisfied. But this time, when the top 8 entered the top 4, he encountered the Menglongtan base. After Luo Ye died, the good luck of King Tashan base seemed to have gone with him. When he changed to the other 2 opponents in the lower half, Fan Wenji felt that if Jin Ke replaced Yuan Kaiang, he could barely compete with them. After all, the strength of these opponents was about the same as that of Mang base, or even worse than that of Mang base. But when they met Menglongtan base, there was no hope at all. After King Tashan base drew the Menglongtan base, there was also a lot of grief in the base. In their view, the magical cannon fodder newcomer Jin Ke just took advantage of the fact that Mang base was unfamiliar with him, was too careless and underestimated the enemy, and accidentally lost the first round of the tour. Menglongtan base would never make such a low-level mistake. The Menglongtan base was full of strong players, and Jin Ke's attributes were so low that he would be killed instantly when they met, and there was no chance for him to create the miracle of the last game. The middle and senior leaders of the base who were dissatisfied with Fan Wenji's reward for Jin class time, as well as the security guards who were strongly suppressed in the security department, in addition to lamenting on the surface that King Tashan base had bad luck in the draw this time, were actually waiting to see Jin Ke's joke in their hearts. If he has the guts, he can do another 5 consecutive defeats. What 5 consecutive defeats? I think it's very likely that he will lose 5 games in a row. Look at his face after the first round. He is just a villain who has succeeded. The good days of the little beast are over. Get out of Director Luo's dormitory number 18. The so-called magic cannon fodder will soon be beaten back to its original form. If Qingtai Mountain base loses this game, Fan Wenji will definitely not indulge him anymore. When the time comes, everyone will beat the fallen dog together. It's better to tie him to the life and death stake again. There were all kinds of discussions in the base, and Jin Ke unfortunately became the focus of their discussion. The game hasn't started yet, but it feels like if they lose, all the responsibilities should be borne by Jin Ke. Although everyone in Qingtai Mountain base is unhappy with Jin Ke, Menglongtan base pays special attention to Jin Ke. The Qingtai Mountain base, which lost Luo Ye, relied on the magical cannon fodder to defeat the Mang base. After the draw results were announced, the Menglongtan base immediately obtained the full video of the first round of battles between the Qingtai Mountain base and the Mang base, and conducted a very detailed analysis of the video. When it came to the magical cannon fodder, they even played it back in slow motion and studied it frame by frame. The power and tactical characteristics of all the magical cannon fodder's skills were analyzed very thoroughly. Chapter 274 Priority. The Menglongtan base even arranged targeted training for Jin Ke. A champion team is a champion team. They can be extremely arrogant on the court, but they are meticulous in their training off the court. They also repeatedly scrutinize their tactical arrangements, leaving no opportunity for the opponent to take advantage. According to the information we received, King Tai Mountain Base has rewarded this amazing cannon fodder and decided to let him replace the assassin named Yuan to fight. His name is Jin Ke. He has only been in King Tai Mountain Base for 3 months. He is the most outstanding one among the new students in King Tai Mountain and a genius level student. From the match between King Tai Mountain Base and Mang Base, we can almost figure out that Jin Ke has at least 2 passive skills and 4 active skills. Among the passive skills, there is one that stacks physical explosion damage. After repeatedly viewing the video from multiple angles, it can be seen that this passive skill must be stacked up to 15 layers before it will explode. The condition for stacking up to 15 layers is that he must complete 15 kills. The other passive skill is to stack spell damage, and it seems that the highest stacking can only reach 5 layers. Among the 4 active skills, 2 are assassin skills, 1 is a displacement skill, and the other is an attack skill. These skills hide a very heaven-defying attribute that only genius-level warriors have. After hitting the energy node, the cooldown time of all skills will be automatically reset to 0. Although this new student has only been in the Moss Mountain Base for 3 months, he has rich practical experience, especially in attacking energy nodes. He did not make a single mistake during the entire competition. His other 2 active spell skills, one can release poison mist, and the other can release poisonous energy waves. The poison mist can cause deceleration and blinding effects, and the energy wave can buff the enemy with poison and have a healing effect on friendly forces. He often combines the assassin displacement skill with this healing skill to heal himself. Judging from the fact that he has both assassin skills and spell skills, he is likely to be a dual soul body with a probability of tens of millions or even hundreds of millions. So he has 2 professions. That madman Luo Ye has been secretly conducting research on alien insects. I think the fact that he was able to obtain the S-level potion and split the soul potion and have 2 professions is probably due to Luo Ye. This newcomer should have been trained by Luo Ye. Although he looks very strong, he is actually very fragile. The main reason is that he has been in the base for too short a time, and his basic physical attributes have not accumulated over time. His 10 stats are still between 120 and 140, which greatly limits his damage output, physical defense and other values. If we effectively limit the opponent's development during the game, it will be easy to kill him in 1 second. Our specific tactics. Consider continuing the oppressive style of play in the last 2 quarters, but at the beginning of the game, we can adopt the tactic of luring the enemy deep into the depths, and then I will force my way to their position to counter jungle. Don't give them any chance to develop. At any time, we must keep enough control skills to prevent this magical cannon fodder from having a chance to fly. When our cannon fodder encounters him, if there are no elite group members nearby, they can consider the strategy of escaping from the white spot and dying on their own. Although this will give them gold coins for nothing, it will not give him the opportunity to stack 15 layers of explosive skills. Among all targets, he has the highest priority. At any time, whether in the jungle, in a team fight, or when attacking the crystal column, if you see him, focus your fire on him first, and don't give him any chances throughout the game. As long as we suppress this cannon fodder, prevent him from developing and taking off, we can ensure the final victory. Jong Jun, the captain of the Raptors, finished his pre-match arrangements. Isn't it a bit too nervous? Why do I feel that he poses no threat to us at all? Zhao Yulong, a soldier of the Raptors, expressed his opinion. If anyone has this idea of underestimating the enemy, stop it immediately. Yun Fiang is a negative example. If Yun Fiang hadn't been too reckless in the last game, Mang Base actually had many chances to win. I hope you don't follow in his footsteps. Captain Zhang Jun was a little dissatisfied with the attitude of soldier Zhao Yulong. I'm just talking. When I really get on the court, I will strictly follow the captain's instructions and ensure that the whole court keeps a close eye on him, so that he won't have any chance to develop or take off. Soldier Zhao Yulong quickly became serious. Another point, if there is any accident on the court, everyone should not act on impulse, and must follow the established tactics. If there is chaos, everything will follow my command. If we don't mess around, The opponent won't have any chance. Captain Zhang Jun continued, in the last game, Yun Fiang was so angry that he killed the cannon fodder first and then the elite group, which led to the final defeat of the Mang base. Zhang Jun, the captain of the Manglongtan base, did not want this to happen to their members. Don't worry, we are not that stupid. We will follow the captain's arrangements in all actions. Other members expressed their opinions to Captain Zhang Jun. The Raptors have our own pride and beliefs. We are the strongest. The only one who can defeat us is ourselves. Zhang Jun, the captain and director of the Manglongtan base, looked into the distance with a deep look. Moss Mountain base, late at night. This is the only way. I'm responsible for the top lane, the mage in the middle lane, the shooter in the jungle, and the assassin follows the tank to guard the bottom lane. The Manglongtan base is too strong. We can only focus on defense throughout the game. If there is an opportunity, we will counterattack. If there is no opportunity, we will defend all the way. In addition, you must pay attention to the opponent's counter jungle. Once the opponent comes to counter jungle, the other lanes will come to reinforce immediately. After several simulation games, Fan Wenji summarized and arranged tomorrow's tactics. The basic attribute values of wild monsters in the tour are very high, which caused an attribute suppression effect similar to that of being unable to break the defense on Jin Ke, resulting in Jin Ke's low efficiency in jungling. After comprehensive consideration, Fan Wenji gave up the practice of assassin jungling and replaced it with a shooter. In short, the result of the simulation game was not very good. After Jin Ke replaced Yuan Kaiang, the assassin jungling was still the short board of the Moss Mountain base, and it seemed to be shorter than Yuan Kaiang's board. The main reason is that Jin Ke's 10 stats are too low. 10 stats are really not something that can be improved in a day or two. It must go through a long period of training and accumulate bit by bit. Many genius-level players are often stuck in the basic attributes of the 10 stats when they want to make further progress in strength, and Jin Ke is no exception. The members of the Manglongtan base team all have 10 measurements between 360 and 620, especially their assassin Zhang Jun, whose 10 measurements are over 600. He is only one step away from participating in the B-level qualifying competition. He is a quasi-B-level super strong man. Chapter 275 Criticism. Without equipment, if the difference in 10 gait is 2 times, the difference in strength is at least 4 times. If the difference in 10 gait is 3 times, the difference in strength is at least 9 times. The 10 gait of Assassin Zhang Jun is 4 times that of Assassin Jin Ke, and the difference in strength between the two sides is astonishing 16 times. Theoretically, it takes the combat power of 16 Jin Ke to match that of 1 Zhang Jun. After putting on equipment, this theoretical difference is likely to reach dozens of times, or even close to 100 times. For tomorrow's game, of course, our goal is to win the game, but if we can't win, we will try to delay the time to half an hour later. It is a rare opportunity to play against an opponent like the Raptors, which can greatly improve our actual combat capabilities. Even if we can't make it to the top 8 this time, we may have a chance in the next quarter. Do you have anything else to say? Fan Wenji looked around at everyone. Me. Jin Ke raised his hand. You say. Fan Wenji had a kind expression on his face. I'm in good spirits. Can I use this virtual park field in the tour? I want to practice a few more games on my own. Jin Ke asked Fan Wenji. Okay, but don't practice too late. It's most important to keep your energy for tomorrow's game. Fan Wenji agreed. There's another thing. Jin Ke spoke again. Tell me, if I help the base defeat Manglongtan tomorrow, can I exempt my master from his sentence? Although he is staying in the renovated prison now, and can occasionally wear an anklet to go out for a walk, he is still labeled a criminal after all. Jin Ke asked Fan Wenji, if you can defeat Manglongtan, this request is no problem. I can ask the base to reduce all your master sentences. In addition, you will be rewarded in various ways just like when you defeated Mang base last time. Fan Wenji agreed immediately, because he didn't think King Tashan base could win tomorrow. Thank you, Director Fan. Jin Ke didn't say anything more. Everyone, have a good sleep tonight, and fight with all your strength tomorrow morning. As long as there is a glimmer of hope, we should not give up. Fan Wenji said a few more words, and then ended tonight's training. After the others left, Jin Ke opened the virtual arena again and conducted additional training alone. Although his strength is a little worse now, he works very hard, Ran Maqian said to Fan Wenji after leaving the virtual park cabin. Indeed, with his talent, it is difficult for newcomers with the same training time to achieve his current achievements. It's a pity that he appeared a little late. If he could have appeared 1 or 2 quarters earlier, he would definitely be a great help to us now. Fan Wenji nodded. His efforts and diligence are unquestionable, but his personality is too strong. He wants to do things that he can't do at this stage. There are many criticisms about him in the base, and there are also many criticisms about you using him. Ran Maqian continued to say a few words. I know everything, Fan Wenji sighed. If we lose this game, Ran Maqian hesitated. If we lose this game, I will definitely ask him to move out of dormitory number 18. In addition, I will impose some restrictions on the power in his hands. He is still young and should experience some setbacks. This will be more beneficial to his future growth. Fan Wenji obviously had an idea. I just want to remind you not to let a second Luo Ye appear in the base. Ran Maqian added a few words. A second Luo Ye, unless he creates a miracle tomorrow and leads King Moshan to victory. But, is it possible? Fan Wenji smiled. Impossible. Then there is nothing to worry about. The next day, half an hour before the start of the tour, the virtual stadium was already full. The entertainment stars of the shelter performed pre-match performances, either singing or dancing. I heard that there is a newcomer in King Tai Mountain Base. He served as cannon fodder in the last match against Mang Base, and ended up winning 5 games in a row. The cannon fodder won 5 games in a row. I just want to ask you if you are afraid. What is there to be afraid of? The cannon fodder won 5 games in a row. First, it shows that the leaders of your base don't know how to use people. Second, it shows how bad the regular members of your elite group are. Indeed, although I am from King Tai Mountain Base, I don't think we can win this time. The gap in strength is too great. You are still very self-aware. In the first 2 quarters, King Tai Mountain Base lost to Menglongton in the top 4, not to mention anything else. Their confidence has been destroyed. I hope that you Menglongton can be the so-called magic cannon fodder worse today. He brought great honor to your King Tai Mountain Base by defeating Mang Base and winning 5 games in a row. Why do you think so? After this magic cannon fodder won the Mang Base, he thought that all the credit was his. He walked around the base arrogantly, killing innocent people indiscriminately, and threatened the base leaders to participate in the tour to demand excessive rewards. Weapons, equipment, and triple_A level potions are fine, but he also took the top dormitory in the base. Now he is more arrogant than Director Fan in the base. Why do you think we should support such a person? Is that so? This person is really interesting. Before the game started, the audiences of both bases did not start to talk nonsense, but chatted with each other lively, because there was no need to talk nonsense. This game was like the Chinese national football team against the Brazilian football team with all the main players. It was bound to lose. It was just for fun and to see how many goals were scored. All the audiences of the Menglongton base had an inexplicable sense of superiority on their faces. All the audiences of King Tashan, sitting next to the audiences of the Menglongton base, had an inexplicable sense of inferiority. If they talked nonsense, they would obviously be slapped in the face. Why bother to make themselves uncomfortable? Moreover, during this period of time, all kinds of bad deeds of Jin Ke were spread all over the King Tai Mountain Base. Jin Ke bullied people by taking advantage of his power, killed innocent people, bullied the weak, was greedy, succeeded, openly threatened middle-aged and elderly women, stole the underwear of young ladies. Many more. Anyway, after a person becomes stinky, although bad things must be done by him alone. Many spectators in King Tai Mountain who did not know the truth inexplicably hated Jin Ke and hoped that the Menglongton base would beat Jin Ke badly in this game, and then watch his miserable appearance after the game. In any case, the magical cannon fodder Jin Ke was the most heated topic of discussion in this round of the tour, because Jin Ke was an assassin. The assassin Zhang Jun of the Menglongton base also became the focus of the audience. Everyone was very concerned about how many times Zhang Jun could kill Jin Ke in this game, End of this chapter. Thank you very much for reaching the end. Don't forget to like. Looking for more exclusive content and immediate access? Subscribe to our Patreon. Remember, every like, subscription, or donation encourages us to continue. Thanks to everyone. See you in the next video.